Hello and welcome back to Straight Facts. It's Friday. The Premier League is back tomorrow. We're here to preview the games that are coming up. We're talking about Arsenal. Will they go back clear this weekend? Or will scary Manchester City, will the Blue Shark close the gap further or maintain it versus Crystal Palace? We're looking at Chelsea. No win in 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm running out of digits on my right hand to count how many games have gone without winning. We've got to speak to Don today, who's been beefing and warring internally with Chelsea fans, calling others deluded for predicting second. Loads of mad stuff going on there. We're also looking at Salah, Liverpool, with Slot backing the return of Mohamed Salah, and Paul Scholes slamming Ruben Amorim as well. All that and more to talk about today on the show. But before we go further forward, how are you, gents?
Good, man. Good. Just done a little therapy session with Matisse. Look out for that one, people. Obviously more therapy here and that of the ops. So yeah, man. Bring on Everton, I guess. Terry, bring them on, man. Back at home. We're back at home, aren't we?
You call that therapy?
What's that?
You just said therapy. You called that therapy?
What, me and Matisse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just done a bit of content with him, bro. It was a bit of therapy. Yeah, it was.
Okay. We'll touch on that later.
It's not therapy? What makes you say it's not therapy?
No, I'm asking you. I just want to make sure that's your definition of therapy. Just sitting there and contradicting yourself on takes that you have similar takes to, but it's okay for you to call it out, I guess. So that's your version of therapy. That's fine.
Nah. I was actually calling him out for predicting seconds, but then trying to run away from that prediction. It's like, I'm gonna throw you man under the bus, but me, I'm all right. I've been crushing these SDs, bro. You know what I mean, bro? Matisse knew the squad that we went into the season with, and he still predicted second, broski. You know what I'm saying?
What did you predict?
I predicted third.
No, you didn't. You said you predicted second.
I predicted second, then I changed it after the window shot. When the window shot, I said I moved Arsenal and Chelsea, bro.
And that's based on
what?
Based on the window, innit? Based on the fact that we didn't go and get a centre back.
Like Chelsea's window or Arsenal's window?
Oh, bro, both. We didn't go and get a centre back. I thought we would, right? And I thought we'd even go and sign like a Xavi Simons. I thought we were gonna sign Xavi Simons. I know he ain't been great at Tottenham, but I honestly still believe he would have been better at Chelsea. I think we just got better players.
All right, we'll touch on that later. Something's fishy about that therapy session, though, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I feel like Don's moving like, that pseudoscience, that pseudo-medicine, when you eat a pill, it makes you feel better. It doesn't do anything. It's just like it's in your head. It's in your head.
You know what it felt like when I was watching that clip, and based on what Don said right now, it's like me and Terry went out for drinks, and then an hour in, I stopped drinking, and then Terry continued drinking, and then the next morning, I'm like, what the fuck, Terry? Why'd you go out drinking? Like, bitch, like I wasn't with you. Like, just because Terry drank more than me doesn't make me completely innocent. I was out there drinking with him too.
Oh, that's the point, though, Staffy. I am not running from my prediction. Matisse has been running from his prediction. That's why I was getting onto him.
Fair enough.
That's why I was getting onto him, bro.
Do you know what I mean? Look, we started on Chelsea. We might as well carry on Chelsea now rather than moving away from it. And for me, I saw the clip. I saw the clip that got put out by the other side of the coin. Really, really good. I watched the show. I then went and watched the show as well. And the bit that I don't quite understand, Don, is you're calling Matisse out for going, basically saying, I can't believe you predicted us coming second. But you only predicted coming third. I mean, the difference in places is
you're not getting the context. You don't get the context.
I don't get the context. I don't get it.
So basically, the context is going into the season, Matisse predicted that Chelsea finished second, right? I'm pretty sure people need to fact check this. I'm pretty sure he gave us the window a 5 or something like that. But he still predicted second above Arsenal, right? I predicted second initially in the summer, and then obviously when the window shut, I changed it to third. I said I don't think we've done more business than Arsenal. I think Liverpool win the league. I think Arsenal finish above us, but I think we finish above Man City. I think our squad's a little bit deeper than this to handle injuries and situations like that, right? But what's been happening recently with Matisse is that he's now, he's been criticizing Maresca, but then he's kind of, to me, it felt like he was kind of running away from his initial prediction and acting as if he's always been doom and gloom about the squad right now, because he's been crashing on the sporting directors. Whereas I'm like, bro, own your prediction, right? I'm not running away from my prediction, Terry, because I still think we can get third, right? I'm not running away from it, but I felt like Matisse was running away from the fact that he predicted second. Because all I kept hearing is sporting directors. But I'm like, Matisse, you knew the squad that we went into even after your prediction, broski. So you can't now try and say sporting directors. You knew the squad. You don't really rate Garnacho like that, right? You don't really rate this guy like that. You don't really rate this guy like that. But even with those players, you still said top 2. You know what I'm saying, bro? So that's the point that I was making with him. It's like, okay, just own your prediction. It's as simple as that, bro. You know, but again, we spoke about it a little bit more today. He was saying how, you know, he predicted second, but he was looking more like an Ollie second. You know, he didn't really think we're going to be anywhere near first. But ultimately, Terry, he still predicted second. You know what I'm saying, bro, with the squad that we've got.
So let me ask you a question. What's the biggest dispute going on right now in your fan base? Because we were just talking about the backstage before we went live. I mean, actually, Terry said as soon as we went live, he's running out of hands, out of finger sore on his hands to count your losses in a row. You know, that's four games in a row without a win. Sorry, not a loss.
Yeah.
Is it players? Is it the manager? Is it both? Because I'm hearing this. By the way, that wasn't the only Chelsea clip that went viral this week. There's a lot of Chelsea clips that went viral. You know, but we're not going to talk about the other one. Most of us here are not qualified to even mention it. But
yeah, two of us here can't use the same language.
Don can volunteer, but we can't. But I'm hearing talks about certain players that you hype up every week, and you're giving me phone calls midweek, by the way, to talk to me about. Mr. Enzo Fernandez. I'm hearing Maresca stuff. I'm hearing Fofana. You know, bro, it was so bad that when even Terry was joking in the group chat on that one goal that Fofana slept on the back post, and he said Tosin, I actually believed him because I was like, you know what, this is too good to be true. Like, this guy's sitting here on the Big Six saying he's comparing him to Gabriel, and then the game or two after, he's making a mistake like that in the Champions League. There's so much going on. So I need you to fill me in so I can keep up with what's going on with your fan base.
Listen. What it is right now, Staffy, is that we put out a respectable performance against Arsenal, right? A lot of people were saying, "Oh, Chelsea fans were happy with the draw, bro." Most Chelsea fans, I was at the game, bro. Most Chelsea fans I spoke to after were like, "Bro, we should have won that game." You know what I mean? Like, no one was celebrating the draw. Like, it gave us a little bit more belief in terms of. I don't know who was celebrating it. I wasn't celebrating it. I was pissed.
What's the name of that channel you were on yesterday? I'm sorry, I don't know his name.
We could eat Chelsea.
I saw someone yesterday put a receipt because he said something about that, and then they put a thumbnail of his after that game saying, "I'm proud of the boys." So let's not do this. Some people in your fan base were generally celebrating that performance. Oh,
a certain man could have been celebrating it. Talk about what I did, Staffy, right? And if you go watch my fan cam, go watch it after this. No,
that's what I said about your fan base. I didn't ask.
I'm
talking about your fan base right now.
I'm saying a lot of people I was speaking to were like, "Bro, with 11 men, we win that game." And even though we went down to 10 men, I still feel like we should have won that game if our attack was better, right? But then going into the games after that, bro, we had Leeds, we had Bournemouth. You already know the narrative with Chelsea right now is that we struggle against the lesser teams, right? It's been like that for years now, and that's one of the main reasons why we haven't been able to compete since we last won it, bro. Back in 2017, we're about to reach a decade, people, since we last won the league, yeah. So, you know, to go into Leeds and to see Maresca starting guys like Tosin at centre back and Chalobah at right back, and you know the midfield was poor. Santos, Enzo were poor. The attack was poor. Bournemouth, again, another poor attacking performance. It's left a sour taste in people's mouth because it's like, how can you go from the performance against Arsenal and Barcelona to this, right? Right now, Maresca is not using the squad to the best that he can, Staffy, because same energy I had with Poch in terms of playing multiple people out of position, I'm seeing the same thing now with Maresca, right? We played Atalanta the other day. It wasn't the most convincing 1-0. It was up 1-0. Pedro scored, cool. But we weren't creating a lot of chances. But we was in the game, was controlling the game. And, you know, if Reece scores his goal, because Reece had a big chance, he missed it. For me, we win that game comfortably. But they were still in the game. What does he do? He takes off Enzo, right? Puts on Gusto in midfield. He moves Gittins right wing instead of playing Esteval when Esteval's barely had any game time recently, yeah? And just messes up the whole, you know, dynamic of the team. And after that, Atalanta just kept attacking us. We lose that game, right? So these are the things that we've been talking about at the minute. There's just so many avoidable mistakes that he's been making. For me, the way he's been setting the team up hasn't really been giving them the platform to perform. And in the likes of Enzo Fernandez, he's been poor, right? To be honest with you, he's been poor. I'm not gonna act like he hasn't been. But at the same time, I think he should be on the bench right now. I think he should be dropped and coming off the bench because he's been run into the ground, right? It's not because I think he's a bad player. I just think right now use the squad a lot better than what you have been, bro. Right? I would rather. Why would I want to see a 70%, 60% Enzo when we can bring him off the bench? When we can see a fit Buenanote, we can see a fit Santos. He's not trusting the squad once again. You know what I'm saying, bro? So it's been a combination of the players aren't, playing well, but at the same time, Maresca's been poor again this December. He's been poor, man.
I think he's definitely made some mistakes. The Leeds games. I wanted to ask this question. I wrote when you were speaking there. It's kind of the manager's getting the blame. The only player that ever really gets the blame is Tosin when he's in the team, and obviously the manager for picking him. Could this not just be, this is me asking a question, not making a statement. Could this not just be that some of your players that were also largely underperforming? You mentioned Enzo Fernandez as an example, but the wingers haven't been doing too much. I'm not going to put much on young Esteval, but he got taken off at halftime 2 games running. The lap until he got injured again and was out for
he got taken off against Leeds, and then he came off the bench against Bournemouth for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes or something like that.
Who's that?
Esteval.
Wait, he got taken off at halftime against Arsenal as well.
Oh, sorry, you're referring to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay,
in those 4 games without wins.
Yeah.
So I look at some of the players equally and go, the one player I would say at all those 4 games that has been really good in all of them, lo and behold, actually, is Rob Sanchez. He's the only one that I'd look at in those games and say, you've been of a high level. Cucurella in your last couple of matches, I think we know how good he is, has also been poor. Is it all on the manager, in your opinion? Or of some of these, do you think maybe we could win it's 2 years running, we can win the league, we could challenge, we're this good, and suddenly the team shrivels up and starts to underperform? Do you think it could be more than just the manager?
Yeah, bro. Obviously, listen, you already know what I think of Garnacho and Gittins, bro. These guys are squad players, right? Garnacho's been starting quite a lot of our games. And obviously Neto on the other side as well. You know how inconsistent he is, Terry, in terms of, being direct. At the minute, Maresca is not using these fullbacks to overlap and help them a bit. He's just tucking them in every single time, congesting the midfield and not giving that overlapping run. I'm not really seeing Garnacho at the minute. The way he used to shoot at United, I know his shooting is not the best, but he's barely even getting into shooting positions because where he's meant to be shooting from, Cuckoo's there, right? How about you just change the dynamic a little bit? How about you let Cuckoo overlap? Let Garnacho go a little bit closer to goal and vice versa on the other side, right? Why don't we use Esteval more often? Because this seems to be their go-to guy for Brazil. But for Chelsea, it's like, oh yeah, let's keep waiting. And there's no time to keep waiting because who else is changing games at the minute? Palmer just came back, right? So as much as these players haven't been performing, Terry, I feel like the manager hasn't really been giving them the help that they need in certain positions. And for me, the fullbacks at the minute is a big killer. I have seen this manager overlapping them, bro, against PSG in the final. Even this season against West Ham, when we remember Esteval when he got that assist, Gusto was overlapping him. But now it's like he's run away from it. It's like Cuckoo has to keep inverting, keep crashing the box. Gusto has to go even further now, like last season. You know what I mean, bro? It's like, Gusto did really well against Liverpool midfield. That's my go-to thing now every single time. It's really, really annoying, bro. I feel like a lot of these mistakes, Terry, are just avoidable mistakes that he's making.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think what you've clocked finally, and some of us have noticed it, but what you've clocked finally is, I believe when this manager is not getting everything correct and he doesn't have the tactics like to perfect to a T, some of these players just fold. And I get it. I'm not going to dismiss all the mistakes that you just mentioned because I speak heavily about coaching. I criticize my manager all the time, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite. But when it comes to tactics in this Chelsea team, I feel like when the tactics are not spot on the day, a lot of these players don't really shine out. The only 2 that I kind of could say that regardless of what's going on with the tactics, they end up doing their thing anyways, is Caicedo and Palmer. The rest of the squad, I don't want to really judge Esteval because he's still young and there's a lot of times he's in and out of the squad, so I'm going to leave him out of this. The rest of the players, bro, I'll be honest, I feel like you gassed up way too many of these players. And hell, I even felt for it in the beginning of the season.
But that's the point though, Staffy. My belief when I'm looking at this squad, as much as, bro, I just spoke to Matisse, bro. If it was up to me building a squad, I would have bought Osimhen. I would have bought Rodrigo for the left. I would have brought in Guehi at centre-back. I would have brought in even a Morgan Rogers in the midfield. These are all guys that come into the team and start, and you're looking at Chelsea completely differently. But the reality is, Staffy, that never happened. So I have to look at the squad and look at how we can problem solve. I can't be crying here, oh, we didn't sign Osimhen, that's it.
No, I know. Until the summer is there again. I get that.
Yeah, I've got to think of how to problem solve. And for me, I'm looking at Maresca as a very good problem solver, right? I'm expecting this guy to be able to use this squad even better than last season, because in the summer he was involved in talks and giving the green light for certain man. He was involved in all of that, bro. That's what they kept briefing us. Simon Johnson, Fabrizio, and all of these guys. But for me now, Staffy, what I'm seeing from this manager, right, is against the bigger teams, you know what I'm saying? Like, against the bigger teams, I like the overthinking and how he plans and you know, all the tactics and that, because you know what time is against the bigger teams with Chelsea. But my thing is, I feel like he overthinks too much against the lesser teams. Whereas you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be doing that, bro, because we have better players than them, right? We have better players. We don't need to be thinking trigonometry, Pythagoras, Cucurella, you need to be in this angle here, and Gusto, you need to be there, and fuck all that, man. Strip it back, and let's just go back to basics, because you're right. We haven't got no hazards, yeah, in this team. We ain't got no Alexis Sanchez in this team, right? We ain't got many game-changing players in this team. So the manager needs to give the team as a whole the best platform to perform as a whole. And when you're consistently making it harder for them, playing bare guys in positions where they're not comfortable, are you surprised they're not performing to their best? This is what I used to say about
a lot of. I'll tell you what. I think a lot of his mistakes come from in-game management, and for a young coach in his career, that's fine. He hasn't been coaching for the longest, so these are things that you develop over time. My thing is that you just said trigonometry and all that stuff. It comes down to what I just said again. When his tactics are not spot on the day, I don't think you guys perform well. And the fact that we need to discuss this when you're playing teams like Leeds and stuff like that, like you just said, that's not a good thing. That clip that went on from Nina, by the way, when she said, I'm more fearful of who would you play at the time? Burnley. She said, I'm more fearful of Burnley than Arsenal and Barca. And I actually retweeted that and I made a joke about it. Not towards her. I said, after all that money, a Chelsea fan is saying, I'm scared of Burnley. That should never be the situation. You should be confident enough regardless of the tactics. Bro, and I'll tell you this because I watch my team every week. When we go win games, I'll be honest, most of it is because we don't even go by what the manager says. Like when Bruno had what a lot of people thought it was a masterclass last game, none of the things that we praised him for was the attributes of a deep midfielder or a double pivot or a deep line midfielder, we're going to call it. You're laughing about it, but like it's true when you think about it.
That's why I'm laughing.
No, I know you're like,
when Bruno has played well for us this season, it's when, through whatever reason in the game, that he's been able to be in more advanced positions. It's
exactly.
When he's where he's meant to be. Yeah.
People praise him last game. They praise him for his goals and the chances that he created. None of these things have to do with his position. So it just shows you that these players, regardless of the tactics and regardless of the team, they can step up and do something. I think your team doesn't have enough of that. And that's the shit. Exactly. And listen, I get it. You said it's mid-season, so you're only going to deal with what you have right now because it's not like the window's open and you could go replace these guys. But some of these guys, we're going to hold you accountable because you gassed up a lot of these guys. And you were talking about them like they were the Holy Grail. So that's why we're collecting receipts with you.
Who did I gas up?
Everyone.
Pretty much everyone.
I'll tell you how you guess that. I'll tell you how you do it. Right? This is how you do it. So I saw a clip of you, and it was either on the same podcast you were on with Matisse the other day, or it was the Big Six, where when you're talking about Garnacho, you're talking about how he's really, really been decent. And then a week later, you'll talk about how he's like just an average squad player. But what you do is, this is where I'd say you've gassed it up. It may not be about any individual per se. Staffy might have examples of individuals. I still go back to what me and Hassam debated you about a few weeks ago, this close to Arsenal. And now you're looking at it, you're not. I mean, Arsenal have actually had a really bad patch themselves by their title challenging standards, 3 draws in their last 5-6 games, but they've pulled 8 points clear of you. I understand your point about the centre-backs bring you down, but actually you're talking about an Enzo Fernandez and actually dropping him and giving him time out the team because of how poor he has been. That's not what Arsenal fans are talking about when it comes to their players. And I think
no. I'm talking about dropping him because he's been playing way too much football. Right? I want to protect him. It's not about, and obviously he's been poor as well. But even if he wasn't playing right now the way he is, Terry, I would still play him on the bench. I want to rotate.
And I understand that. I think where people talk about, for me, if someone says, "Oh, Don gas these players too much," it's when you see yourselves on par with the very best teams in Europe, and then in the very next breath, you're having a go at Matisse for predicting you coming second, which doesn't feel like a crazy prediction. I think about it this way. I think that you're right. The manager's made mistakes, but I think you're definitely guilty of you personally thinking Chelsea as a club and as a squad and as your manager, maybe you feel that you're a little bit further ahead than where you really are, which is fair.
What it is for me, Terry, right, is again, it goes back to last season as well, because people were trying to cut me about the squad take that I had last season. Vega,
what was that? When I
said last season that Chelsea had the best squad in the league, yeah. Vega and João Felix. Vega and João Felix, broski, last season, yeah. These guys could have been used in so many games. They were just left to the side. I'm seeing the same shit now, right? And then people, oh, your squad is overrated, and I'm like, bro, this manager's not using them, right? At least if he was using them, yeah, because people are gonna say, oh, why is he not using them? We're not there every day, whatever, cool. But they're there for a reason, right? If he was using them, Terry, and they're not performing, cook me about the squad. But when I'm seeing guys like Hato, bro, the last time we saw this guy was back in Baku. This was weeks ago, yeah. But no, he don't even make sense.
He really doesn't trust a lot of his players. I agree with you, and I don't understand.
That's a question, though. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Best squad in the league last year because you had Vega and João Felix, who are at Al Nassr and Villarreal respectively. That made you the best squad in the league.
Bro, when I spoke about our squad, I spoke to you specifically about the depth. I said, I think we've got the best depth in the league. But in terms of the 11, what I said to you about the 11, I said Liverpool have a better 11. I said Arsenal have a better 11. Right? But I said in terms of the cover that we have in the league, I think we've got the best depth. And the narrative at the start of the season,
you're still wrong, but
the narrative at the start of the season. Hold on. The narrative at the start of the season when Chelsea were shelling it, it was, oh my god, like, oh my days, they've got Pedro on the bench, they've got Felix, they've got Nkuku, they've got, like, people were looking at our bench and they were jealous of the bench. They were saying, bro, look at their depth, man. Look at their depth. When Don says it's delusional, right? You know what I mean, bro? So at the end of the day, like I said, Terry, I just don't think this manager right now is really even making use of this squad, bro. Like Staffy has said, there's a lot of players in the squad that he doesn't trust. But then it blows up in his face because the guys that you do trust are being run into the ground. And then they don't perform.
Have you not ever thought about it from this perspective, just as a thought process? The guys that you've just mentioned that made your squad the best depth in the league last year are at Villarreal and Saudi. Do you not think it's possible that the guys that you're seeing on the bench not getting games are also just not good enough? That's why they're not being played and other players are being overused. Isn't that just as likely as Maresca not noticing their talent?
Bro, they're good. They're more than good enough to be playing as squad players in this team, bro. Vega went to fucking Juventus and they were loving him off over there, right? Villarreal, where are they in the league right now? I feel they're quiet. They're not quite high in the league right now. I know they're doing poorly in Champions League.
What I'm saying is,
what I kept saying about Felix, Terry.
I'm not saying they're not good squad players, but in terms of the point that you're making is that you want certain players to get more game time. Maybe I look at it this way: Vega's a decent player, but the fact that after even doing well at Juve, the fact that he's ended up at Villarreal, the fact that like people for years have gassed João Felix. For me, if João Felix was the level that people say he is, I don't think he would have flopped at Chelsea twice, flopped at Ati.
He didn't really. Terry didn't get opportunities, bro.
Exactly. But this is what you're not. You know, like there's a lot of actors out there. Hang on a minute. Okay, they're third, right? But we also know La Liga ain't the same standard as it was. Look at the English teams. For the first time ever, look what English teams are doing so regularly to La Liga teams. There's something in that. But I look at it like this, right? I've come across a lot of these people because of the industry my dad was in. A lot of these people that working in bars, working here, working there. I'm an actor. Oh, are you? I've never seen you in a film or TV. I never get the opportunities. What do you mean you don't get the opportunities? I do the auditions and that, but I never get the chance to show how good I am. Well, maybe there's a reason you don't get past the audition stage. Maybe there's a reason all these players for 2 or 3 years, Don, that you think are good enough, that never get in your team, that most of them leave and don't go on to bigger. How many leave and go on to bigger and better things than Chelsea? That for me would be an indicator that they weren't good enough to really impact your team in the long term.
Yeah, but bro, they still get good enough moves. Like I'm not begging for Vegas. Yes.
Not Chelsea level and above, man.
To be going to Villarreal and Juventus, yeah, is clearly a guy that's good enough to be on the bench for Chelsea, bro. To be going to AC Milan,
but that isn't the point we're making. No one said that isn't good enough to be on the bench. You're saying they didn't get the chance to play. I think personally, I know Juve historically are massive, but I think the level that Chelsea are at now and aiming to get to is above anything Villarreal have ever been in their history. And is better than most Serie A teams can hope to be, with the difference in money in the league.
Yeah, Terry, like the thing here, right? I kept saying it. even if you don't like Vega, you don't like Felix, get rid of them in the summer. But whilst they're here, make use of them, bro. Especially over December. You've got a game midweek, right? You've got a game midweek, Terry. You've got a game at the weekend. You've got Champions League the following week, right? Only a fool would look around and say, "Oh, I'm only going to use 14 players over this period," because you're just going to get these guys tired, right? They're going to be, bro. Fatigue is a thing, yeah. I kept saying, bro, just you make use of these guys. There were so many games last season, Terry, where Maresca could have brought on an extra centre back, brought on a Vega to help see out the game. He done it against Liverpool away, right? Little things like this. Felix, you bring him on for a different dynamic. He might not be your cup of tea, but at least he's a ball carrier in the team. Let him just carry the ball and give it to someone else. Try something different. And right now, there's so many players I can talk. Hato, barely seen him. Esteval is up and down right now, right? You know, there's Buonanotte, again, doesn't really make certain squads, but then I'm seeing Gusto playing ahead of him in the 10. Imagine now, you're sitting on the bench, Terry. Bro, I've been in bare change rooms. If I'm sitting right now playing for a team, I'm on the bench.
Pause.
Yeah. And I'm seeing big pause on that, yeah. Big pause on that. But imagine now, Terry, I'm sitting down, I'm on the bench. I haven't started the game. And then I'm supposed to be playing left wing. I'm seeing a fucking centre back coming on at left wing before me. I'll be looking at what the fuck's going on here? Yeah? Santos the other day is on the bench and you've got Gusto coming on in a position where he can comfortably play. What the fuck is going on with that?
Look, I do hear you, right? And look, we've got, man, you know, I'm going to go to Staffy in a second. I'm very sorry, Staffy. United right now, we have it with Mainu not getting game time. And I believe that is a combat. I don't know if there's a personal issue between the two. I've not really read too much around that. I just think that what our manager wants and what Mainu is different things. And it's very frustrating because I love Kobe Mainu. So I think there's the possibility that Maresca has missed some talented players. But by and large, I have this conversation with Man United fans regularly over the last 10 years on socials, especially when it's a young player that needs developing. The amount of time, why isn't this guy playing enough? Why isn't this guy playing enough? The amount of them that then go out on loan or get sold, that then go on to genuinely be better than we imagined or as good as we imagined, it rarely happens. Like I remember with Chong, even with Angel Gomez, who had a little bit of a glow up. Yeah, I think he's a really good player. Do I actually think he's good enough to control the midfield in the Premier League? No. There's a reason that no top teams in the Premier League want to buy him to do that role, right? And I think sometimes we get a little bit dragged in, especially if we're starving. Oh, this guy's really good. There was Zidane Iqbal. I really rated him. Didn't get a chance. Again, it's not like suddenly.
You're talking about you're changing the context. You're talking about players from your academy, broski. I'm talking about players. I'm talking about bro. Vega got called up for Portugal for one. Yeah?
How old did you? Again, yeah, but it's the same difference in you're buying a lot of young players when they're coming in inexperienced, and you want.
You can't compare academy players to fucking guys that have been playing professionally.
I'm giving you an example though of players. It's the same logic though, which is I think this person's good enough and they should get the game time. It's fair to have that opinion. Once they don't get the game time and they're moved on. Listen, being a professional football player for Villarreal was amazing. I wish I was that good at football. But I then look at it and go, well, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool are striving to be at a much higher and more consistent level. If that's the level that somebody gets to, that tells you all you need to know. Every now and then you're going to get an anomaly. You're going to have a KDB leave and then go on to do what he does. But they are the rocking horse shit. They are the anomalies. Most of the young players and most of whether you buy them or they come for your academy that don't get the game time you think they deserve, most it's because they're just not good enough.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Terry, the thing is, though, end of the day, it's a game of opinions, right? Just because, Pep didn't really rate Palmer and didn't want to play Palmer, that didn't stop me from rating Palmer as a player. I thought he was a very good player, ready to explode.
And I understand that, but Pep and City... Yeah, go on. But that's because of who they... But that's a little different example because of who they had ahead of him.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you can look at it like that at Chelsea, bro. Like, when I spoke to a Leicester fan, I did a preview of him last season. Bro, he said Maresca had a similar sort of issue there around this sort of period where he had a core of players and he ignored the rest of the team. And I'm seeing that same theme right now where he's rotating on paper. Like you can look at Chelsea, we've made the most changes, most rotations and that, but it's about rotating correctly. Yeah. Tosin should not be ahead of Josh right now, Josh Achimpong. Impossible. That guy should only be playing against teams like Cardiff and that. And then even if you get rid of him in January, get rid of him.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Bringing on Chalobah at right back instead of Gusto at right back is the wrong decision.
No, that I agree with.
These are the things that I'm talking about, bro. He's not making the right decisions with the squad. He's not using the squad properly, bro.
But you don't think there's any chance you've slightly overrated some of these players then? Just to round up on that bit.
I know what these players are, bro. We can go through my squad. If you want to do that one-on-one, we can do that. Garnacho, have I rated him more than a squad player to you? Did I even want him? Have I rated Gittins more than a squad player to you?
You said they were decent. Sorry, go on, Staffy. I've spoken for a while. You speak, bro. Go on, you, bro.
I think they're good squad players, unless they're shit now.
Good.
I think they're good squad players. Who else is there? I think Caicedo's world class. I haven't even called Palmer world class. A few people call Palmer world class. I haven't called him world class yet.
João Pedro, Delap. Yeah. Talk about those.
I rate João Pedro, but I was very skeptical about him because he hasn't got a specialist position. I was getting PTSD about Nkunku. Again, all the receipts are on my channel. People don't watch my content. That's what it is. Yeah. And I bigged him up for the goals and that. But, bro, I was skeptical about his position. What is he? Delap, I said Delap, I want him to be a squad player. I wanted Osimhen to be the starter. I didn't want to pay 400k a week for Osimhen, but I wanted Osimhen. Yeah. Who else on the right? Who else? I wanted Olise. I've said to you, lot, it won't take much for Esteval to be starting ahead of Neto and Madueke. Yeah. The only guys I really, really rate in this team are Cuckoo, Caicedo, Reese, Colwill, obviously Palmer, Enzo. Who else is there, bro, that I like rate to a high level?
So here's the thing. I don't care about you just saying I think they're good squad players, this and that. Delap is not good enough. João Pedro's not good enough. Garnacho's not good enough. Getting so far showing he's not good enough. Pedro Neto, to what you guys want him to be, he's not good enough.
Go on, let Staffy finish, and then we'll go back. Sorry.
Who else? Enzo, to the level you rate him, he's not good enough. We already established these center backs. They're not good enough. I just went through how many players so far? About 8. And you just sit here and said, did I rate him more than a squad player? Did I rate him more than a squad player? I don't care how hard you rated them. You rated most of these players.
But yeah, but I said, let's go back. I'm saying, let's give the context of my takes. I said Gittins and Garnacho.
What is the context?
I said Gittins and Garnacho are squad players who will contribute, right? Gittins is sitting on 6G already.
So when when your two left wingers are squad players, Don, what does that leave you with? It leaves you with the depth of squad players and no, I don't want to even call them elite starters, but you have no standout starters. None.
I told you who I would have signed, bro. That's the you're not
you would have signed. I'm just talking about what's seen right now. Yes, and you saying, I rate them only as squad players. It doesn't matter. You were still good with them.
I know, but broski, I rate them as squad players. You're talking like I'm overrating them to be starters, right? I predicted Chelsea would finish 3rd. That tells you what I think of this team.
But you knew you had 2 squad players playing on your left as an example, and yet you thought that was still good enough for you to put them to put your team in 3rd, and that's fine, by the way, because I made a mistake with you guys as well. I thought you guys will take the next level in your development as a team and as a squad, and be a little bit more consistent this season. Clearly, I'd say anyone who predicted that was pretty much wrong. But when you were doing that about the left wingers, we're doing it about the strikers, because you said the same thing about Delap and João Pedro. One of them you're skeptical about his positioning, and the other one you still think he needs development. That's already 2 positions that you think the players that are playing in it are just good enough to be squad players. Yet you know you didn't sign the Osimhen like you said, or Kvaratskhelia who you like. So that's irrelevant to the conversation. You know what you signed up for, and you were still given these takes. So when you're giving me at least 2 of your top 3 positions or front 3 positions, you're labeling them as squad players, people are going to check you with these takes, because you're going to be like, wait, you seemed fine with them. You can't now tell me in December, but I only rated them as squad players.
Hold on. I've called these guys squad players even before we signed them. Yeah? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to run away from
So why'd you predict 3rd with squad players? I don't get it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hold on. It's not just squad players that we've got in this team. We also have players in this team like Caicedo.
No, obviously, I'm talking about those 2 positions we focused on. I think your right-hand side would be fine if Esteval plays more, but he's 18 and he's going to develop in his first year in England, so I'm not going to put too much pressure on that kid.
You're focusing just on that position as if we haven't got starting level players in this team already. Yes, we should have bought more.
I named the players that I rate, because I could go to center backs and we're going to find shit again. We're going to go to fullbacks and we're going to say, you know what, fair enough, you have decent fullbacks. Your midfield, other than Caicedo, that I rate really highly, I'm sorry?
You said our fullbacks are decent. Is that it?
Like they're good, bro. Like I don't have to gloat them. I'm just saying they're good. Like you have good fullbacks.
He said it's average, broski. Come on now.
Okay, good. Whatever it is, I don't care what language you're using right now. Like I'm just saying, I rate your fullbacks. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not gonna focus on those. We know your center backs are shit, and we've spoken about that. And to be fair, that's something we always spoken about. But that's enough holes in a team to sit here and say, based on the way you talk, the only area in the pitch that you've heavily attacked, and I can attest to that, is the center backs. The rest is just like. You're now trying to tell me, oh, I didn't overrate it just because I said there were squad players, so that was the level I rated them at. But there's just too many areas on the pitch where you were just okay with squad players, and you just
okay.
Top three. We're not far off Arsenal. These were your takes. Those were not my takes.
Stop telling me I was okay with these guys, bro. Because I didn't even want to say.
You said I was okay with them being squad players.
Broski, I said yes as squad players, but did I want to bring a starter in? Yes. I wanted to bring a starter in.
You didn't know.
And you predicted.
You didn't know. You didn't know, Don.
We're not that far off Arsenal.
Hold on, Terry. I know we didn't, bro. I know we didn't.
No, you didn't. You didn't know.
How I look at? What do you mean I didn't? I didn't.
The reason why I don't think you did is because when you saw the cost of what these players wanted to be paid, for instance, Osimhen, you're like, with what he wants to be paid, I don't want him. But that is what all the top strikers, top wingers, if you bought Caicedo now with the experience he's gained at Chelsea, he wouldn't be coming in on 100k a week or whatever. They all are going to want 250, 300, 400k's a week.
Why did everyone run away from Osimhen then?
If you agree with your club's transfer policy, which is to not pay that kind of salary to players of that age, then you are okay with not buying those players.
Bro, Osimhen was asking for an extortion, right? To the point where every club, Ornstein said this himself, every club in the Prem was assured that this guy was going to go to Saudi because the money he was asking for was mad. United, they ran away from that deal, bro. They ran away from it. Chelsea ran away from it. Everyone ran away.
And you agreed with it. So,
Rodrigo, I think I even said on here for Gyökeres, I said, bro, go pay Gyökeres what he wants.
Yes, okay, but what you haven't done is you're not calling out. You're not called. The reason you could go look, Chelsea have got the pull and the size to sign a Rodrigo, to sign these players, but you back what Clear Lake are doing, and they won't pay those salaries.
I don't back everything that they're doing.
But you're backing their transfer model. I've seen you talk about it before.
I like certain aspects of it. Yeah.
Until that changes, you're never signing Rodrigos because you're not giving players of his age and older 200, 300, 400, 500,000 pound a week. That is what they want to get paid. So you're always buying potential, which is there are some Chelsea fans, Dave, Quest, and the guys that come on here. They're okay with that, but they equally didn't predict them being as close to Arsenal as you did. So their predictions kind of marry up with what they believe the process is. I think that's where you get called out quite a bit, Don, is 1 minute you're a stone throw away from being as good as Arsenal. The next minute, you've got a squad that's got a couple of top-class players, and then the rest of it is lots of squad players. And Arsenal, and let's be blunt, whether people like Arsenal or not, Arsenal have got a starting 11 that challenges most starting 11s in world football. So I don't see how you find yourself so close to them, but then say you've got a squad of squad players. That's where I get confused by what you say, brother.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, a lot of people overrate the quality in this Premier League, broski, right? If right now we had this squad, Terry, and we're trying to compete with Prime Pep and Prime Klopp, all those players that they had, bro, you think I'm even predicting us to finish third? I'll probably say like, oh yeah, we'll probably finish maybe 4th, 5th or something like that because we can't compete against those guys. I'm looking at everyone right now, and I'm sorry, bro. Like I'm not looking at this Man City team, and it's such a scary team. Yeah, I'm looking at this Arsenal team. It's probably the most complete, the most covered in every area. But I don't look at it and think it's such a scary team. They've got a very good defense, yes, but they're a very good team. But I'm sorry, I've seen better teams in the Prem. Yeah, this era of the Prem right now. I'm sorry, broski. I've seen better than this.
Yes, but you're not comparing this Chelsea team versus Chelsea's squad of 20 years ago. It's still it's like for like. There is no sprinter in the world right now, I don't believe, that's as fast as Usain Bolt was. But you're not going to predict the fastest current guy in the world to come second just because he wouldn't have beaten Usain Bolt. You're still going to predict. If you win Olympic gold now, you're still Olympic champion, even if you don't beat Usain Bolt's times. You know, you're comparing about what's around now, and you're not. You've sat here and said you're not their level because you've got a squad with too many squad level players in it, not enough top class starting players. And Arsenal, I agree with your point. If you put this Arsenal team up against the greatest City, the greatest United, the greatest Chelsea, maybe it doesn't stack up as high, the greatest Barca's, but those teams aren't around anymore either. You're comparing it like for like in the here and now.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. In the here and now, I'm sorry, bro. I'm seeing many holes. I see holes in Man City's squad. I see holes. There's holes everywhere in Liverpool's squad, and we still predicted them to win the league. Yeah, many people, not just myself, have been calling Man City Haaland FC. Would people? Right now, Haaland gets injured now for 3 months. Most Arsenal fans would be laughing to the bank, thinking, "Yeah, we're going to win this league now," because that's the difference. Whereas before, Man City could have Aguero out for the whole season, pretty much. They'll still win the league because they've got KDB, they've got Sterling, they've got Sane, they've got all these top players, right?
Well,
I don't look at that. I don't look at it like that right now.
Cherky and Foden are cooking right now, and Cherky's looking bad.
Cherky and Foden.
Considering I hate ugly players, I really wanted this guy at United, and this is why. Like because the guy does everything. This is why I wanted him at United so bad, Staffy, because he has better ability on the ball in terms of ball control and retention than Bruno. But I think he'll get to the Bruno levels of creativity as well, which is frustrating.
Bro, it's been cooking. But again, when you talk about the attacking depth, because I said this to you lot in the group the other day, Tom was trying to cook me, and then when he actually brought up the numbers, he realized, oh shit, Chelsea's attacking depth is actually performing better than these, man. Yeah. And I said to you, man, Cherky and Marmouche are the only two I rate in their depth in terms of their attacking depth. And right now, Cherky's not even really looking like depth because I think he's going to be a starter for them. It's Marmouche that's going to be on the bench, if anything. Savio and Bob have the same amount of GNA as Garnacho right now, broski. Right? They've got the same GNA as Garnacho.
Yeah, I know that. But if you're a betting man, though, if you're a betting man, if you look at the unit of attacking in the Chelsea team and the whole unit at City, by the end of the season, who do you think is going to come out with the most goals as a collective?
Obviously Man City. Obviously Man City, like automatically they have a better front three because they've got Haaland in there. They have an all-timer in their attack. They've got a fucking bro.
I mean, your attack right now has got less goals than Man United.
I know it does, bro. Listen, the past 3 games we've been on a bit of a drought. We've been on a bit of a drought, bro. Leeds, we scored 1 goal. Bournemouth, we scored 0 goals. Yeah, that was the first time we ain't scored, Terry, since Palace at home. The first game of the season. That was back in August, right? Every other game we've scored this season. So, we know before I was saying to you, we're scoring goals. That's not our problem right now. It's the defense. The past 3 games, it's been the goals now. The goals have kind of gone down a little bit. So we need to pick it up, starting with Everton. Yeah, Everton this weekend. You know what I'm saying, people? For me, Terry, I've already said it, bro. Top 14 for us this season. I am not saying nothing about no title race until I see these lot up there in March. Yeah, because Leeds and Bournemouth was the perfect test and they failed, both of them, right? So I'm trying to sit here and wait till like March. If you're up there in March, okay, cool. We might get back in there, might get a bit giddy and that. But right now, broski, I'm telling you, top 14. I see too many top 4 traits in this team right now.
I hear that. How do you think you're going to get on this weekend against Everton?
I'm not confident, bro. I'll be real. I'm not confident, man. I'm telling you. Most Chelsea fans I'm speaking to right now, yeah, it would just be our luck that Dewsbury Hall scores his first hat-trick. I don't even know if he scored a hat-trick in the Prem before. He probably scored his first hat-trick against us, right? They've got players that can hurt us, bro. They've got players that start for us. Grealish, Ndiaye, you know what I'm saying? Dewsbury Hall right now, I still love him in the squad, right? You know, their defense is solid as well. Their centre-backs are solid, more solid than ours. You know what I mean, bro? So I'm just looking at it right now. Palmer, I need a big game from him. I need Enzo to have a good game. Fofana's going to be available in the team, so I feel like we'll have a little bit more stability at the back. But ultimately, Terry, I just need to see the team starting to create and be more cohesive up top right now. Because João Pedro, he's got no relationships with no one, right? The goal he scored against Atalanta, that's one of the few times I've seen him create for like that this season, Terry. I don't really see it. You know what I mean, bro? So I'm just hoping that I see a fluid performance. I'll take the W however it comes, but because I've been seeing poor performances, I need to see a better performance from the team.
Yeah, I hear that. You're at home, right?
Yeah, we're at yard.
You should be winning, man. Like Everton are good, and obviously United had that horrendous result against them, but we really should have beaten them. I know they got the man sent off, but they're good, Everton. But you've got to be beating them at home. I mean, if you were to go, I think you'll win. Personally, I think you'll get the job done. If you don't, though, and it's 5 games without a win, how much pressure do you think that's going to start to mount on Maresca? Considering,
there'll be a lot of pressure.
If you'd have beaten Arsenal when you were better than them for large parts, you'd have been 3 points off top. you could end up being, because Arsenal will beat Wolves this weekend. We all know they're going to beat Wolves. They're not good enough.
Yeah.
You end up being 11 points off the top when you had the possibility to be 3 points behind, just for 3 games later to be 11 points behind. You're getting to that point now where accountability on the manager is starting to increase, surely.
Oh, no, 100%. That's why he needs to get back to winning ways. And he needs to do it in a way where people are looking at it and thinking, yeah, we play like this more often, we'll get back in the race. Because the funny thing is, Terry, we can get ourselves back in the race. But the problem right now is there's too many, problems off the bench. The in-game management's not been good enough. Certain lineups, certain man not turning up. So yeah, we need a performance this week, man, because we've been starved of them. We've been starved of them since Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Staffy's got random internet problems again, so he's away. He'll be back with us very, very soon. The update here, I said Maresca on lapsed injury goes, we don't know yet how long he's out for. It can be 2, 3, 4 weeks. We don't know exactly. Wesley Fofana is available. Yeah, that's a shame with the lap. He's never really been able to pick up any steam, has he, this year?
He hasn't. He's not been good enough. But at the same time, I just feel like the team are still learning to play with him. A lot of Chelsea fans have been doing a lot of revisionism on Jackson, bringing back and that. Bro, Jackson had the privilege of playing with Palmer. Right? Palmer and Jackson, I told you last season, Terry, that they had a very good relationship. They had so many goal contributions created for each other, right? So you take away Palmer from Jackson, he's not the same player. And for me, I was looking forward to seeing Palmer with João Pedro like the Club World Cup, Palmer with Delap like for Man City in the academy, because Palmer is a massive player, bro. Like, I don't look at anyone in the world and think, yeah, you're better 10 than Palmer. I think Palmer's the best 10 in the world, right? So we need to get him back into the team and help these guys, bro.
But do you think but you don't think he's world class?
That's the fucked thing. Technically he is. Technically he is, bro. If I think he's the best 10 in the world, then yeah, I do think he's world class. But I was kind of holding off on saying it. Okay. I think he is. I think he is, bro. I actually think he is.
Fair. Let's do some super chats here. First one says, I'm keeping my powder dry at the same time. I'm not losing my mind at the first loss since. We'll come back to Arsenal. We'll come back to that in a moment. The way Terry plays with Don is too funny, exposing him in a calm and easy manner. Don just cutting him off, waffling, mad levels of hypocrisy. I'm not playing with Don. I'm asking him questions. I'm trying to understand things.
I said playing with Don as well. Chill with that.
The reason I'm a little calmer today than I normally am is I've got a really bad cold and I don't really have the energy to speak any louder. Plus, my nose is blocked.
We've got the minions out in the chat. Oh, Palmer's the best 10. Name me a better 10 than Palmer. We've got the minions out now. Some of them are going to say Pedri. Pedri's not even a 10.
I get Terry's point when he says they leave and they haven't got better. There hasn't been any that has left Chelsea and done a McTominay, for example. Yeah, I mean, I mean, there are always some that probably should get more game time, but there's been loads at United. Another one I would give as a buy we bought. All the delusional people delusional dum-dums that genuinely thought that Donny van der Beek was levels and levels above Bruno Fernandes. The fact that he's left and he's sitting on the bench for a team in and around relegation in La Liga, it's just, for me, it's just the proof. It's an objective proof to the argument, if that makes sense. If a player leaves, and does really... There are examples where it doesn't work out, like Anthony Martial. By the time Martial left, his body was so damaged after all the injuries. I don't think that's a fair example to give. But if you have a young player that everyone thinks is amazing, doesn't get enough game time, leaves... For instance, if Mainu does leave Man United in this January, does badly, gets sold, does badly for 2 or 3 years, maybe I'll reassess it and go, do you know what? Maybe what I saw was wrong. But there has to be an objective truth at some level.
Do you guys think Bruno's better than Palmer, by the way? Because a few people are saying Bruno's the best 10 in the world, apparently.
If I could go back and get who would I sign now? Palmer because of age, because Bruno's in his early 30s. If you could ask me now, if Man United wouldn't ever change Bruno's position from when we first bought him, I'd go back to that Bruno, because the level of output from that man was just something, another level. But I'd buy Palmer now. Palmer now.
Bro, man scored 4 goals on more than one occasion. The chances created, like, obviously Bruno creates chances as well, but just what he does on the ball, bro, different levels to this, man. Different levels to this. And then when you talk about the GNA in the finals and that as well, man's sitting on what? 8 GA in finals, bro.
It's crazy.
Should even have more if guys could finish.
Don, my team is better than Arsenal except centre backs. Now, Don, have I overrated them though? Clown, this guy is worth the watch.
Oh yeah, Caicedo's not a good player. Palmer's not a good player. Enzo's not a good player. Cuckoo and Reece aren't good players. Yeah, man, they're all shit. Esteval's not a good player. Pedro Neto's actually been contributing as well, bro. He scored what, 5 goals? He's got more goals than all of Arsenal's attackers right now, bro. Yeah, and they want to waffle like this. Pedro Neto's outscoring all your fucking attackers, mate.
Don, you said centre backs were the problem, but they're clearly not your only issue with a title race when you are struggling to even score. Overrated squad, top to bottom, is what Echo Fool says here.
Yeah, mate, we've struggled to score the past, like I said, 2-3 games, but it's not been a problem all season. We've been scoring goals, but we kept leaking stupid goals at the back.
Don, give us Arsenal centre backs and we win the league. And predicted 3rd.
Hey, man, it's not long ago when you had Gabriel with his dentures, bro, scoring goals for you in the box. You know what I'm saying? Now he's not there. You're having to think of open play solutions. Let's see if Saka can rise the way Foden did for Man City. Let's see.
They have, since the injuries to their centre backs, they've got more open play goals than anyone done.
Yeah, no, they've been doing their thing with the open play and that, but let's see if it carries on, mate. You know what I mean? Saka, can he rise like Foden? I was asking Jermaine yesterday, big up Jermaine, if he can rise like Foden. He said yes. Yeah. So chat, let me know if Saka can do the same as what Foden.
I ain't seen Jermaine in a while, man. Big up Jermaine. Hope you're good if you're watching.
Man, I'll get him back on the channel. Don't worry. I'll get him back on.
Reach out. Question for the panel. If you had to split 100% between talent, hard work, mentality, and luck to create an elite world-class player, how much would you split it? Oh, into talent, hard work, mentality, and luck. I'd go with 30% ability, 30% hard work, 30% mentality, and 10% luck. The split would be equal. You need to have a lot of talent, but if you ain't got that hard work and ain't got that mentality, you could have 99% talent. If you've got no hard work and no fucking mentality, you're fucked anyway. So I'd go with an even split on all those areas, and then 10% of luck. Because I think if you've got hard work, great mentality, and amazing talent, you don't need that much luck in life. You don't need that much luck. So that's what I'd go with. This is a massively reactionary. We had important injuries and we'll be fine. Arsenal just puts our front of shirt sponsor on their sleeve. What the fuck?
Can we bring up that Marie comment, please? Can we bring out that Marie comment? I've been called out.
Marie.
There's a guy called Marie in the chat.
This
Let's
one
bring
here.
up that comment. It said, Don, Marino, Trossard, and Martinelli has more goals than Neto. Get your facts right. Well, you need to get your facts right, actually, because Neto in the Prem, was talking about the Prem, has scored 5 goals. Yeah. Gyökeres has scored 4. Right? Eze scored 4, and we know 3 of them came up against fucking Tottenham. Saka scored 4. Yeah. Who else is there, bro? Yeah, he's scored more goals than all your attackers. He scored 5 goals. Neto.
Oh, well, not okay. I thought you meant all of them put together. Sorry.
Nah, not all, bro. Come on. We're even lucky to see 5 in the Prem right now. Yeah, I'm talking about the Prem. He scored more goals in the Prem because man are talking about competing. Don't say all comps. You're talking about competing for the league. So I will talk about the Prem. Let's not try to change the goalposts, move the goalposts. So you get your facts right, Marie Blood.
I guess she says you should have specified the EPL. Our attackers have been out injured, please.
We were talking about the Premier League. We were talking about competing for the league. So why would I not be referring to the goals scored in the league? Which one is it? Can you pick one, please?
Staffy might be back with us now. Let's see if it works. Is he here? Is Staffy here? I can't believe you're in the United States of America and you've got Wi-Fi like you're in Iceland. Not Iceland. I mean Antarctica.
I have better internet in Egypt, bro, than this.
Well, just hotspot your phone, man. Just hotspot on your phone, honestly.
Well, it's all good. It's all good. I'll be out of this shit.
We've got him back with us. Chelsea scored in 2012 versus Bayern via a corner set piece FC. Big up yourself. English Talent FC. Obviously, another big talking point this week was the situation with Salah and Liverpool. Slot today has echoed what Liverpool told David Ornstein and Ben Jacobs and the rest of the media that they don't want him to leave. He's welcome back into the squad. They're going to have a conversation, but essentially the ball is in Mohamed Salah's court to say that he wants to stay and doesn't want to leave. Staffy, how do you see this one playing out from here?
In terms of what? If he stays, if he leaves?
Yeah, because I mean, I think Gerrard summed it up best. He's going to have to, maybe not publicly, but he's going to have to pull back some of his comments. He's going to have to apologize internally for speaking out. But equally, Liverpool are saying publicly, we want you to stay. They're saying the same thing privately. Salah said he doesn't want to leave. But how do you see this one panning out from this point? Do you think he should be let back in the squad? Do you think he did anything wrong? How do you see it moving forward for Liverpool?
Yeah, listen, of course, I think his comments were stupid. I understand why he made these comments, but I think we all agreed that his comments were wrong. Some people justified it because of who he is. And some people were like, no, it doesn't matter who you are. You don't come out and speak this way. But I think the collective majority have agreed that his comments were wrong one way or another. Now, some people believe it was stupid because if he just stayed quiet and Liverpool continued to play as bad as they were anyways, this manager, he was eventually going to get sacked. I mean, he still could get sacked. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people think he just spoke prematurely instead of just being patient and letting things just play out the way it will play out. In terms of him coming back and whatever, I honestly don't know. I feel like, and here's what I came a conclusion to. Dutch managers and communication with players is probably not the best. We've seen that with Ten Hag. Now we're seeing that with Slot. There's something about Dutch managers and the way they speak to their players. I don't know if they lack affection or emotion or whatever it is, but something about that players don't like.
You know, they're just blunt. It's as simple as that, bro. They're just blunt.
They're just stiff in the way that they talk. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go to someone and you vent to someone about how you're feeling or whatever. Someone like right away is gonna show you like, I don't know, like some type of sincerity. And I guess these Dutch managers, as you said, they're blunt, but like I don't know, bro. It's something about the way they communicate that I don't like. And clearly Salah is feeling that, and it just reminds me so much of the Ronaldo situation with Ten Hag as well. And both of them, I thought they were wrong. Obviously, both of them being club legends, no matter what people say, Salah is going to go down, in my opinion, as the best Liverpool Premier League player of all time. And he's up there with all the legends that they had. So a lot of people will say, like, he's earned that type of status where he could come out and call out the manager or the club or whatever, kind of like what Ronaldo did. And a lot of United fans justified it. I wouldn't be surprised if Salah doesn't bring him back next game as well. I don't know. I mean, now you're telling me that I didn't even know that the club is making it public that they want him to stay. But equally, there was comments where it came out that he reached out to his family and he told his parents to come to the Brighton game because it might be his last. It might have been, listen, the drop for the Inter game might have just been disciplinary. Because if you remember...
No, he's gone again. Use your phone, man. Use your hotspot. Use hotspot on your phone. Oh, you're back. You know, you did go. You went. You're back.
Use your phone, man.
Yeah, go on your
phone, bro. It's gonna be shitty.
Have you not got 5G?
No, I do, but like it's not gonna be that great. Like
anyway, carry on. We've got you back now. We've got you back. He's gone again.
Hey.
No.
You know, this guy lives in New York, bro. Green Goblin must have knocked out the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi cable.
Crazy.
Hey, go call Spider-Man, man. Go call Spider-Man to help you out, bruv. Yeah. What's Green Goblin done to your yard, bruv?
Yeah, what's going on over there? What's happening in New York?
But yeah, man. Well, this Salah situation, Terry. Is there any updates? Because Slot said he needs to speak to him first.
Here he is.
I'm about to beef some people right after this.
That's better.
Where do we stop?
You sound good as well, man.
Yeah, much better. Much better.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Sorry, go on. Back to you, bruv. Go on.
Yeah, man. Bro, I just think for me, I just think it was a real selfish thing to do, man. I was saying this to Firizi as well, yeah, on SDS the other day. Like, bro, like, it was 3 games, Terry. It's 3 games, right? Slot is under pressure right now to be trying something new. He's taken Verts out after spending over 100 million on this guy. He's literally taking Ekitike out when he was in good flow to bring Isak in and playing Ekitike out of position, right? Like, there's been certain men in this team who've had to hold it as well. It just happened to be Salah's turn to hold it, right? Now, obviously, I know, with Salah, he's done a lot for them, and he's won so much for them. Like last season, bro, he was the main attacker that literally scored over 70% of their goals and their assist and whatnot. I hear all that. You respect all of that, right? But you have to have some self-awareness about your performances this season. You have not been good enough, yeah? And does it mean that it's only you that's not been good enough? No. But the manager has a lot of pressure on his back right now to try and do different things. He took you out of the team against West Ham. The team actually looked better. They won that game. He kept you out of the team because he's thinking, I found a little solution here. I might have to bring Salah back in a little bit later on. We'll see how the team gets on without him, right? But then to come out after 3 games, Terry, and, say, I've earned my place as if no one can move him out of there is a bit mad to me, because even Chiesa, the few little bits I've seen from him, he should be getting way more minutes. You know what I mean, bro? He should be getting way more minutes. So how I look at it, I just think that Salah went way too early. There's no guarantee that he would have been on the bench for the rest of the season. I think eventually he would have come back into the team. He could have come off the bench and affected the game, and all of a sudden now he's back into the 11, right? Because Liverpool right now, they're in tatters. Anyone can hold it. So I didn't respect it, man. I didn't respect it. I respect what he's done in his career, but that move was a bitch move to me, I'll be honest.
What was the bitch move? Sorry, because obviously I dropped off.
Salah
the way Salah came out. The way Salah came out. And
it's unprofessional. I agree with it. But you know what it is? It's not the first time he's done that. Remember, he did that with Klopp when Klopp was leaving. And he came out and said, it was like the last game or second to last game of the season in Klopp's last season. And he said something about, if I speak, there will be fire or whatever. Like, that tendency to kind of be unprofessional about being dropped, I think it was always in him. And I think we got to see it the most when he got dropped back-to-back games. So I didn't forget about that, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's wrong that he spoke out. I also understand the way he feels, and I get it. I think what Steven Gerrard said was just perfect in the sense of, I respect that he's hurt and wants to play. The throwing under the bus comment shouldn't have happened. The breakdown of relationship, I mean, maybe he's right. What I would say is that the way Ten Hag spoke about Sancho, you could tell Ten Hag had an issue with him. Listening to the way Slaughter spoke, I didn't even know we had a problem. Of course, I'm open to speak to him, but there is a difference in that, where if Slot would have turned around and said, I'm not surprised because we haven't been speaking for weeks, or I've tried my best, but he's a very difficult character. If he kind of said those things, you could see that there's been a problem. Slot, to me, if I'm being honest, looked a little bit miffed in the sense of, I didn't think it was that bad, but he's openly said as well. And I think, did you see Clarence Seedorf interviewing him?
No.
I didn't watch it, but I heard some quotes from it.
Yeah, it was really good because Seedorf was being respectful, but was obviously looking at it from a player's perspective and was saying, well, you've got to, you as the manager, you've got to offer an olive branch and try and have a conversation. And he really put it on Slot. And I thought what Slot said was perfect. It was, I will, but there's got to be a willingness to have a conversation with me. And there's got to be a willingness to know that what you did is wrong, irrespective of who you are as a player. And I think that's where the dynamic could break down. It's whether or not Mo Salah wants to say, I was wrong for speaking out the way that I did. That's where I think if he does, I think not publicly, but if he says to Slot, shouldn't have done it, mate, I'm not going to do it again. I'm taking your word for it that I will get opportunities back in the first team. I'm going to go AFCON, but I'm going to come back and work really hard for you in the team. I think it'll be a footnote. The issue you've got is in both directions. If Mo doesn't say something along those lines and says, bollocks to this, I'm leaving, it's going to end not nice. Equally, if they convince, if Slot and Liverpool convince Salah that they want him, and then he comes back from AFCON and 5-6 games go past and he's played 5 minutes, you're probably going to get an even bigger explosion. Does that make sense? Because you've bullshitted. So they've just got to make sure, I think Liverpool have got to make sure as well, that they're not doing a PR game here. They're not telling the world, oh, we want him, when you really don't. There's I know that managers can sometimes get forced to say these things in a press conference. We all know, I want Amram gone. I'm not going to hold it back. But he said he was happy with the squad. But I don't disagree with him saying that in a press conference, because I expect a manager to not disrespect his squad in that way. There are times where you're forced into saying things, but this is an opportunity where if you want him gone, you can get him gone. Don't promise him that he's got a place in your team and then not play him. That's where Liverpool have got to get this right. But
see, the thing is for me, Terry, right? It's like, is there an underlying thing as to why you've done this? Because to me, it just feels like maybe Salah just wants to cut, right? Maybe Salah just wants to cut and he's kind of using this as a reason. Like, have you had those guys in school where you don't really get on with them, you don't like them, you don't like their energy, they haven't done anything to you, but you're gonna use any little thing to while out. Like they can step on your trainer and you move mad. Like,
Yeah.
Like you're waiting for an excuse to lash out.
Yeah, you're waiting for an excuse because the way Slot's coming out, like you're saying, Terry, it's like, bro, like I was just managing the team. It happened to be Salah.
They very lightly brush past a girl that's your friend. What are you pushing the girl for? They didn't. Yeah. You're waiting for that reason. The playground stuff. Yeah.
You're just waiting, bro, because I'm telling you, 3 games for me is not enough. It's not enough for him to be saying everything that he was saying. When I saw those quotes, right, because I was at Rance's fight and I was seeing them coming up, I'm thinking, bro, like, is he actually, is this real? Like, because I was with Monts and Roms, innit? And I'm showing them, I'm like, are you guys seeing this? They're like, yeah, like, it's mad. It's actually mad, bro. I just think I think he's kind of using this as a reason maybe to just get out.
Maybe. And that's it. And so they've offered him an olive branch and he said he wants to stay and he goes, no. Like, I don't, again, unless there's something we don't know, but I said this to Sam and Mo, if there are things that we don't know, he's got to tell us. So we can actually make, because what I won't do is go, yeah, but, you know, Slot could have done something nasty to him. Well, I'm not just going to make that assumption without knowing. That's just casting a maddest. You know, it's a bit like, I don't know, Staffy says he's not going to go on Sam's channel anymore, and me going, oh, Sam must have been really nasty. It might just be that Staffy wants to do less content. It might be a really honest read. I don't know if you guys have watched Robbie's bit with Matisse. I've watched quite a bit of it on Matisse's new podcast. Yeah. And Robbie just goes on about how whenever someone leaves AFTV, the world and his dog goes online and says they know the reason why. And he sort of said that no one ever does. And I get that feeling because the amount of times when I'm like, some of the guys like Potsy doesn't do straight facts anymore. Did you kick him off? No. People did with Lee Gunner. Oh, you sacked Lee Gunner, didn't you? No, Lee Gunner left. Like, people make bullshit up. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I won't do that to Slot just because it serves a purpose. But if he has done something wrong, tell us and we'll criticize him. But
you know what they say though, bullshit sells, isn't it? That's what it is.
Well, yeah. It does.
I think Salah should leave.
I feel like WWE. Sorry, Staffy, go on, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out WWE, man. Listen, John Cena retirement tour. We'll see you tomorrow, bro. I might shed a tear for that one. But
you gotta watch
it. Is that what he does?
Yeah, he's retiring tomorrow. So
he's retiring.
Yeah, tomorrow.
He follows me on X actually. Follows a lot of people though. I thought I was special when he followed me, and then I realized he follows every fucker.
He's very weird on socials. Yeah,
right.
But what was I saying? I think Salah should leave anyways. I'll be honest, like regardless of everything we talked about, the performances haven't been good anyways. And I think not that I think, we all know that every player is due a down season, a season where he finally, like, his legs start to go, his performance start to drop. He doesn't perform to that level, especially in a season where he got paid. This is his biggest contract, yet it's like the worst he's been. So it's like, it was kind of the worst time to make him the highest paid player. I think he's the highest paid player in the club. So I think he's due. He's meant to move anyways. I think the Saudi League would be perfect for him. He's probably a year too late going to the Saudi League. He ended it with a great season last season, to be fair. No one expected him to have that amount of G&A. But I'll be honest, bro, go play with the Ronaldos, go play with the Benzemas, go play with these players that were once great and now they're like, you know what, it's time to go to retirement. We'll go to Saudi Arabia. I think he should go there. And I'll be honest, if he goes there, we'll get that interview that you're talking about, with, getting all the backstories of what happened. The minute he goes there, we'll get everything that's happened between him and Slot and the club at that time. Yeah. And that will be great for us to finally get clarity.
You're spot on, because I said this the other day, bro. I said, the way that he the quotes that were coming out, they're the sort of things you hear in a book, Staffy, when you've retired. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, there must be a deeper motive behind this, because this is
maybe
too violent. This is
but you gave a school example the other day. Couldn't it be this, right? Did you ever do this at school? Both of you. I did this about 2 or 3 times. Say he has some coursework or some homework due. I don't want to get in trouble for not doing the homework. So I'd sort of get into a bit of an altercation. So I got kicked out. And then I wouldn't have to give the homework in, right? And then, yes, you get in a little bit of trouble for that. You do a little bit of time in isolation. But then while I was in isolation, instead of, I'd sit there and do the homework, right? And then I could hand the homework in later. So I'd get myself kicked. So maybe there's an element here, and I'm spitballing, where Salah's like, my legs are done here. But I don't want to admit, I don't want to do a Gary Neville and like retire or go to a lower league mid-season. I'm going to create a bit of a beef, get pushed out and go, I didn't really want to go. It's not my legs. Could it be that? Could there be something else behind this?
That's a good
It
point.
could be something. It could be something. We'll see. We'll see when he leaves. How do you think Liverpool will get on this weekend, though? Because they obviously had a very good result midweek against Inter Milan, which I don't think a lot of people expected. But they're at home against Brighton, who have been a little bit of a bogey team for them in recent years. How do you boys see that game going?
It's the Salah Welbeck derby, bro. That's all I'm saying. So don't let Salah lose the Welbeck, because someone is gonna be proud of that. Shout out Lee, man. Shout out Lee. But no, there's been a kind of a
good season. He's had a very good season, to be fair. Well, so he has.
He's been very good this season.
Best season in his career, isn't it? Best season in his career in the Prem.
Is it? I don't know if statistically it is, but I know he's been having a great season. So
I think it is. I'm sure the chat will know. I heard it somewhere.
I think it's the best start. I think it's the best start to a season he's ever had.
Yeah, because at some point he had like more goals than games, which is something we've never seen him do.
Yeah, so looking just on a goal level, so he's on 7 goals. Now, the most league goals he ever scored was last year, 10, but he's on 7 in 14 games. The most goals ever in a season in all comps. This is when people say he's better than Salah. Makes me laugh, though. The most he ever scored in an entire season was back when he was at Man United in 2012, where he scored 12 goals in all comps. And
we gave him 2 of those
13 years ago, but he's on course to beat it this year because he's already on 7. But this is the problem with Welbeck. He could end the season on 8 goals in all comps now. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of player he is. But yeah, sorry, anyway.
Yeah.
No, listen, it's going to be a big game for Liverpool, because a lot of people were not impressed with that Inter win. And when I say a lot of people, I'm not talking about rivals. I'm talking about Liverpool fans. And you know what the stage they're in there? They're kind of in that United Ten Hag stage that we were in a year and a half ago or something like that. Well, remember, we used to be here on the terrace, and we're talking about we won today, but we're still annoyed. And you got the divide between the fan base. I was one of the ones that are sitting on the side where like the performances are shit. Remember, we went on a 6-game winning streak, and like one of them was like Everton when Garnacho scored that bicycle kick, and I was like, oh, we won 6 in a row. Why are people complaining? I was like, because the performances don't match the results. And that's what I felt from Liverpool in that Inter game. A lot of people looked at it was like, if it wasn't for a fortunate penalty, you're talking about the same issues again. But other people were like, wait, we went to the San Siro, we left with a clean sheet, a ground that's tough for a lot of people to score a goal in, let alone to win a game in. We should be happy with that. And that still creates that divide. And I already know what I think I'm going to see, and I'm going to see a consistency of bad performances still. I am expecting them to play bad. I don't think they'll be able to win that midfield battle with this Brighton team. Brighton are one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league when it comes to build-up and central progression and all that. And I think those are the areas that Liverpool have been weak in all season. So I think they're going to catch them out of position a lot. They're going to be able to run their midfield. And if that leads to a loss, a lot of the fans that weren't impressed with the Inter win, they're going to feel vindicated. And the other guys that maybe used that win as a prop to say, see, believe in Salah, give him a chance, be patient, I'm not going to lie, bro, they might look silly. So it's a big game. I can't lie to you.
No, 100%, bro. And hey, and as a Liverpool fan right now, bro, you see Brighton right now, Terry, the way they win the ball high, one of the highest in the league. I think it's the highest, in fact, in the league. I was checking the Athletic yesterday, right? They win the ball.
Yeah, they're
high,
looking
bro.
at Konate. They're looking at Konate.
Hey, I'm telling you, bro. Konate, they're licking their lips like hyenas. Right? The build up over there is meaty. Yeah, man. It's gonna be a tough day in the office, man. I think if Brighton score first, I don't think they lose the game. I don't think they lose that game, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real interesting one. I think Liverpool are gonna. The reason why I'm backing Liverpool to win the game, though, is I think Brighton will do a little bit like Villa did. They're not gonna go long, make it hard. They're gonna play it from the back. Brighton will also play into Liverpool's hands as well. Does that make sense? But they can beat them. They've beaten them there on a couple of occasions in recent years, and they're very vulnerable. This Liverpool team, if they concede, their asses absolutely go. And I wouldn't mind it. Listen, I'm enjoying watching this turmoil. It would add an extra development as well. If Salah's not in the squad and then they lose, all the guys that are backing Salah, I like a bit of turmoil at Liverpool. It's nice to not be the only club. It's one of the reasons why I said Arsenal scared me all those years ago, because I felt like they were leaving us by ourselves in the mud. It's nice having somebody else there. It's great having somebody else there with us, I mean, they'll never get as much attention as we get, but it's still nice. This here says, Don comparing Pedro's goals to Arsenal's striker goals. I can do that too. Noni has more Champions League goals than Cole Palmer. These comparisons ain't worth poo.
Bro, I responded to you lot saying, oh, yeah, Arsenal ain't too far from Chelsea. It's just the centre backs. And I'm telling you that one of our attackers, because you think you've got a better attack, right? Cool. That's your opinion. One of my attackers has outscored all of your attackers. So how is that happening? That shouldn't be happening then. If we're so far away from you in every position, that shouldn't be happening, bro. That's the point.
Do you know that Noni Madueke is almost got 40% of the amount of Champions League goals that Eden Hazard's got in three appearances in it? I read that stat. Someone made a tweet. It was, I think he needs like 4 or 5 Champions League goals. Matches Eden Hazard.
Jason knows to talk about Champions League anyway, because when it comes to the Prem, it's 0-0, blood. You know what I mean? 0 goals, 0 assists. Is he going to rise this weekend, Jace? For Madueke?
Off of Madueke. He has been good for Arsenal, though. He's very good. His goal was, you must have loved his goal the other day.
Oh, bro, it's a banger. It's a banger. But I've seen him score bangers for Chelsea too. Against Leicester, against Luton, against Sheffield. But that goal was serious, yeah.
Bayern Munich. Scored against Bayern Munich. No, it was starting the Prem, so he's been very good.
Seeing Don turn on his son, aka Madueke, yeah. It's sad times, man.
Hey, Staffy, man. Hey, we replaced him.
This super chat, read it out, bruv. It's for you.
Staffy made that sweatshirt out of freshly hunted teddy bear skin. Bro, I've been seeing people in the chat talking about it. Someone's like, don't go out in that hoodie. You might get hunted. Bro, it's a blanket hoodie that like you wear at home when it's cold. It's
do you know what you remind me of? Do you know what Ewoks are?
No.
You not seen an Ewok from Star Wars? Just Google Ewok.
How do you spell that?
Taking the piss. Is that? I swear that's what you call Ram. Did you call Ram an Ewok?
Ewok. I think it's EWOK.
Terry, I swear you've called Ram an Ewok before.
Yeah, probably have called that one.
I tried to Google it, but then I remember my internet is down anyway. So.
Hey, Staffy, until you fix that shit, use your phone. This works.
Yeah. Much better than what you're doing before, mate. Much better. Have you never seen an Ewok?
I don't know what that is now.
You know what's so crazy about your country as well, Terry? Talking about bears, yeah. I saw a video earlier of a guy. There was a bear that was just like roaming the streets, and he tried to stroke it. He tried to stroke the bear, and it just like barked at him. And I don't know what type of sound they make, and it just kind of, I don't know what it did. I don't know what it did, bro. It just kind of made a noise.
Growled, roared. Bro said bark. The bear barked. Bro, let's move on.
Bark. Fucking a bear barking.
It roared, It just kind of like waddled off, bro. But yeah, man, you lot.
I was in.
Bro, that's probably someone like in Minnesota or something. Don't associate.
Yeah, it was Minnesota. I think it was Minnesota.
See, I didn't even know, and I guessed it right. People, I'll tell you that when
in Minnesota right now, I think one of them will try and move to you, bro. We'll try to slap your bum or something, bro. Try and move to you.
I'll tell you this: when you talk about the US, just always understand the country's so big. It's like me grouping all of Europe together. It's like me associating you with someone in Slovenia did. Don't talk about us like we're the same. We're completely different. I've never seen a bear in my life. I've never seen a bear in my life. Well, in a zoo maybe, but like not in real life.
The bear just like growled. I don't know what sound it was. It like roared. I don't know what the fuck it was.
Barked. I was in the States staying with a friend many years ago. A guy that used to do kickboxing with, stayed with his family. He said, we're going to go for a bit of a hike through the woods. And I said, I don't have any hiking boots. And they're like, we've got boots. We've got all the stuff here. It's fine. And it was this moment of realization. We're getting all the stuff on. I've gone out for walks before in the countryside in England. And you get putting your boots and your wellies and you just go out. And then I see them loading up guns. I'm like, what do you need them for? I said, we're not going hunting, are we? He went, no, but we need it in case something. I think they're like bears, and they said something like mountain lions. I said, what about wolves? And we don't get wolves here, but bears and mountain lions might. I mean, you need something in case they come out. And I remember just thinking, what a weird. Well, I take my dog for a walk. He can be off his lead. I don't have to worry about alligators getting in from the water or bears getting us. Yeah, the States is a different level. A different level when you go out in the wilderness there, bruv, compared to the UK. It's fun though.
If you go to Florida, they're filled with gators. So there's alligators all over the place there.
Well, what's also happening in Florida, I only know this, I watched the Joe Rogan podcast, is there's loads of gators, but people have they've got like a python problem where the pythons are actually eating a lot of the alligators and crocodiles. Now it's like everywhere you go in the Everglades, there's just if you went there now, they're like, it's just pythons everywhere. They're inundated with them. They're actually trying to kill them because there's too many. They're not meant to be there. But imagine that.
Terry, I keep getting a vision of Staffy just walking through one of these countries in Canada or something with that fucking thing on, and the bears
That's
will
an
just.
Ewok. That's an Ewok.
I do look like that. I
Hold
can't lie.
on. Hey, put that comment.
You-
Put that comment up. Yeah, hey son, and don't try to put me in the same category as you, Broski. English is my first language. Yeah, put it up there. Put it up there.
Ewok.
No, man, try to bring me up with him. You know, there's a comment.
Ewok.
Hey, put that comment up from the sun. Put that comment up from the sun.
Which one?
Go pre it. Put it up.
Which
Man,
one? From who?
From I think it's Son.
Oh.
Son. No, not that one.
Oh.
Son. The other one.
Son. Oh.
Where is it? Yeah, son. I've been in Don's position too. English is Broski. English is my first.
Well, that's even worse. English is your first language, and he said the fucking bear was barking. That's embarrassing.
Hey, bro, I said the bear was growling, barking, whatever noise it made.
That's when I would have played the Zambia card. You're Zambian, right? I would have said I'm from Zambia.
I got a good friend of mine. She moved to the UK when she was quite young from Turkey. And she gets very like, she always says, I don't want to sound like I'm fresh. I'm like, fresh, you've been here 30 odd years. But she, every now and then it like slips up out of her. She'll say things like, she won't say, if you got hurt by a wasp, what would you say, Don?
I got stung.
You get stung. She goes, I got bit. I'm like, what do you mean you got bit? Oh, no, that's the wrong thing to say. Like, you don't get bit by a wasp, you get stung by them. I love stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? There's a great meme. Yeah, I love it. No, that doesn't bother me, but it's funny. Bark. Staffy made that. Sorry, we've done that super chat. Don't already done that one. Give us J-Mo, Hussam, Professor Hamza, Tom Little, and Kunle versus Don. I want that all be Don. It's ain't a Bonnie Blue movie. Fucking hell, mate. Come on.
Yeah,
come
man.
on.
What's going on?
Come
Here?
on. It's a bit of a team up there.
Yeah.
This is massively overreactionary. We've had important injuries. Sorry, we've done that super chat too. Keeping my powder dry, same time, sometime not losing my mind at first loss since August 31st. Squad is coping, but need first team back for relationship and patterns of play. That's obviously about Arsenal. Look, Arsenal got Wolves this weekend. How do you think the weekend's going to end for Arsenal? Do you think it will still be 2 points? Or do you think they'll be back to, would it be 4 or will it be 5? Because how do you think Crystal Palace are going to get on versus Man City on Sunday?
Who you asking, me or them?
You go true, bro.
Go on, Ewok.
All right, we've had fun with that one. Now we could drop it now. The worry is not about Arsenal, obviously, this weekend. They got Wolves. And listen, any team that lets United put 4 past them, you can't respect that team. Relegate that team immediately. So they're gonna cakewalk that game. Is the City game right now. And I'll be honest, City as I know people want to speak very well about them, and I get it, and they've been decent this season. There you go, Don. The word decent again. I don't like to overgas certain things, so I like to say decent because it sits there between the good and like average. But the thing is,
decent. They're just decent. Cuckoo and Reese are just decent.
To me, decent just means you're good, but like I'm just not wow. Like I'm not gonna gas it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think they're good. That's what I mean. I'm not.
You don't feel world. You don't feel world class.
I rarely use that word. I'll be honest with you. So it's you're probably coming at the wrong.
Wow.
Like my vocab is a lot. My vocabulary when it comes to this is very like restricted and it's very limited. Like I don't just go on and call anyone world class. Like I can't remember the last time I called a player world class. But they're good. They're good. But anyways, back to City. City have been good, but they've been inconsistent. We've seen them go on a couple winning games, a couple winning game runs, and we've seen them go on a couple game losing runs. So I never know which city is going to pop up. The main thing about them is Shirky, we were just praising him earlier, and thank you guys for giving me that praise. By the way, Canadian Cam, absolutely hold that, because in the summer, he was trying to downplay the Shirky signing. He's saying there's a reason why Shirky went for 30 million to City while Virts was 120 million going to Liverpool. Well, yeah, a lot of those reasons was because Leon was about to get relegated for financial reasons. So it was easy to rip him off for any player. In terms of talent, the kid is amazing. I'm actually worried about him because he's actually showing too much in games right now where Pep is coming out and complaining about him doing Rabona assists during the game and saying, keep the game simple. So I'm worried that Pep is going to ruin this kid, but he's been amazing. But Palace is a tough team. And I know for a fact now, and I think we can all agree to this, City are in a situation right now where they don't have goals spread out in their team as much as they used to. Whereas like you shut down Haaland, you have a chance to win the game. And it's a lot simpler said than done. but that's kind of the reality of what they are. They don't have a lot of goals outside of Haaland right now, especially in the league. So it makes the mission a lot harder because a team like Palace, second best defense in the league after Arsenal, they're more than capable to give they're very capable, sorry, to give Haaland a tough game. And they're able to shut him down, then you're talking about conversation of City dropping points again. And I don't think City in this stage can afford to drop any points if they want to contend with Arsenal. Because, yeah, Arsenal lost to Villa last week, but we've seen the circumstances of the game. We've seen the form Villa have been in, by the way. Villa won 6 in a row, or 5 in a row, and then they beat Arsenal. So they've been a team that's performing at their best, as we should say. So if they slip again, and Arsenal got Wolves, and I don't know Arsenal's run after this, but you don't want them to get this gap a little bit early. You get what I'm saying? They've done well to cut it down to, what, 3 points right now? Is it 2 points? But you want to keep that pressure on, in my opinion. So I think City need to go this weekend and win this game, because it would be a big win, in my opinion, as well. I think Palace has been one of the better teams over the course of the year. Like, the whole 2025, I think Palace have been one of the most impressive teams in the league, you know? So you go ahead and you win that game, and you continue that pressure onto Arsenal, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one. I mean, Arsenal win this weekend, no doubt, Don. What do you reckon on the Palace side of things? Because they've been they're one of those away games now where I think everyone looks at it and knows to get. I mean, the fact Man United got 3 points there is still a big shock to me. Because
you put them at a good time because they just finished coming out of Europe, the European game and that, and you already know what Glasner thought about their squad, you know.
They had Europe last night, but of course they were only playing in Ireland and they played a very rotated team. So I don't know how, they might be a little stronger this time round. But that will be on the back of their minds. I don't think they've won a game, Palace, after playing in Europe. So probably the best time for City to be going there, really.
No, 100%, bro. I think Man City right now, they're ticking along nicely. I know Staffy just said about, if you look at away from Haaland, there's not really many goals, but they just won their last game. Was it 3-0? They beat Leeds 3-0. And I don't think Haaland scored in that game, bro. Right? Who did they play last game, Terry? After Leeds?
They played the Champions League versus
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid won. And then before that they played
Leeds. Yeah, after Leeds, another game.
No, Leeds was their last league game. No, they won 3-2 against Leeds, and they played Fulham where they won 5-4, and then they beat Sunderland at the weekend.
Sunderland, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Foden scored in that game. Haaland again, not on the score sheet again. So they are actually contributing in other areas right now. Like Turkey, I'm seeing right now, Turkey's got 5 assists in the league, the most in the league. Foden is on fire right now, bro. He looks like he's enjoyed his football again.
Someone else has 5, if you want to name him.
Say that again, bro.
Someone else has 5 assists, if you want to name him.
Oh, Bruno and Turkey right now. You're giving Bruno prop, yeah? You.
No, that's Terry's boy. So I just wanted Terry to.
No, he hasn't. Bruno hasn't got 5. He's got 6. He's top.
Oh, he's top now, yeah. Okay, that's probably changed then. I was wrong. But yeah, Turkey's still up there, innit? It's one less assist. Yeah, I think right now they've got a lot of confidence. They've got a lot of momentum. They've come back off the back of beating Real Madrid. Yes, they had a lot of injuries and whatnot, but it's still never easy going to the Bernabeu. So I think they're going to go in there with the mentality of we're going to win this game, and I think they're going to win the game.
Yeah, no. Listen, they could. I'm going for draw in this match. I just think Palace. I think Palace are going to get a point. And it's not a disrespect to City. I think City will then go on to win the next 4 games. I actually think we're going to see Arsenal and City win all their games over the festive period, barring this one, because all the other games they've both got are very winnable matches. It's a really good period, but it looks like those two are going to be the sides in the title.
By the way, City's top goal scorers, because I just wanted to fact check. Haaland's on 15 right now. Foden's on 6. By the way, shout out Foden. He's having a very good season as well. I like the revelation. And then everyone else is on 1 or 2. So the only 2 players to score more than 2 goals is Haaland and Foden. So I'm not saying they don't get goals without Haaland, but I'm saying it's not enough. Like not as enough as they want. Like you'd like for Marmoush to be up there with like 5 goals, or like Oscar Bob or whoever Shirky obviously with a few goals. I mean, he has the assist at least. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you ideally would talk to a City fan and you talk about the distribution of goals, they'd much rather have it more than just 15.
But then this what I'm saying, Staffy. It goes back to the point I was making earlier, right? When I used to talk about Man City before, Mares was a GNA magnet, and he never used to start all their games. Yeah, They used to have goals on that bench all over.
I hear you, but let me just throw this. But City are the only team out of all the Premier League clubs to have 2 players in the top 10. Arsenal, the team that are challenging them, don't have a single player that are currently in the top 20 goal scorers. They've got Gyökeres, who I think's on 4, who sits 14th, and Eze on 4. So they're both joint 4. Like there's loads of players on 4 as an example. So I do get where you're coming from, but it isn't as. I feel like if Haaland wasn't there, Mamouche was in the team, of course there'll be a drop-off because you're probably looking at the greatest goal scorer ever in Premier League history. But if Mamouche had played if Haaland hadn't kicked the ball this season and Mamouche had played all the games, I don't think it's unreasonable to say Mamouche should have 7 or 8 goals with the amount of opportunities they create because he's a very good player. You know, could he score as much as Mateta or Welbeck or Thiago? I think so. I think he could. I don't look at it and think he's just going to be an absolute bum. It's just about game time. And Voldemada's on 5, you know, and it's all about timing because like Foden's got a lot of his goals recently as well. Like this is the time of the year as well. Loads of games back to back. You have a good period. I mean, I actually surprised in Mbeumo's 5th top goal scorer in the league. Didn't even realize that, but that's annoying because he leaves after this next game. But if you have a good festive period and score in 2 or 3 of the games, you can suddenly be in the top 10 goal scorers in the league. Oh, a lot of people writing the name Paul Joyce. Paul Joyce. I love when people do that.
Indie as well, please. Can we not promote indie on this platform, please, Terry? I don't know if you've been doing much.
No, in the summer, it's a shame that he's proven himself to be an absolute joker again because he comes out with some really good stories. In the summer, if he did an indie story after he was sort of,
bro,
I can't. Honestly, man, I hope Ornstein does that for me one day, bruv. Can you imagine? Mohamed Salah back in the squad for the Brighton game. Issues from the past week still persist, but those will be tackled whilst the player is at the African Cup of Nations. So he's back in the squad, but they haven't resolved the issues. That's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's the Ronaldo thing all over again. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
Ronaldo got dropped. If you guys remember this, Ronaldo got dropped, came back and wore the captain's armband against Villa. Right after he got dropped for disciplinary issues. It's the same thing all over again. They can't drop him for too long, Terry. They're going to look. Yeah. It's going to put more pressure on Slot. It's going to put more pressure on the club. They're devaluing their best asset. It's a tough situation. I get it. It sucks. But he'll definitely be on the bench. I don't think he starts.
Yeah, Twisted Bubba, you've missed a great opportunity for a pun here. It's not the plot, it's the slot thickens. Come on, you had a great chance of pun. A great pun. A great pun.
Wait, Baba. Twisted Baba, man's even got a revamp, yeah. Man's got a new picture now.
Yeah.
Look at it with his name on it.
Man's even put a little pun.
He's added Chelsea to it. He's added Crystal Palace FC to it as well.
Hey, Baba, man, yeah, you're a funny guy, you know.
I look at his name, and he strikes me as like a soda brand, like a fizzy pop. That's what I think of when I think of Twisted Bubba. Bro, that's what I think of.
Actually, when I was at Ranks' fight, yeah, there's a guy that's always in my chat, TTM. When I was there, he was like, "Oh, bro, it's TTM and that." I was like, "What, TTM? Yeah?" Because I didn't expect to know what he looks like. His pictures on, just like a man.
Wait, that guy's always on my channel, TTM.
Yeah. I met him, bro. I met him in person, bro.
What does he look like? Bro, I swear to God, he's one of the best. He's very generous as well. He's always donating to charities. He's actually one of the best out there. He shows mad love to everyone.
He's a homie, bro. He's from Zimbabwe.
Hey, tell him I said shout out, man.
Yeah, he's it's always strange when you meet people. Me and Rance were talking. I was going to go to the fight, but I've had this fucking cold, so I didn't go out much at the weekend. But I went to one of the Rance's last fights, and that was a weird experience because a lot of YouTubers, people there, and like a lot of people obviously recognize me, which is nice. But then it's their usernames they give me, and it's like, oh yeah, I know you are. Some people like look how they come across, and others I'm like, nah. Like the one I really want to meet is Maradon the Moron. I'd love to meet Maradon. That would be an interesting one because he talks. I reckon he definitely types how he doesn't really speak, but he's also told us he's like 75 years old. But then he also says broski, so I don't know if it's true. It's like
imagine your grandpa saying broski.
Like there's certain slang that 75-year-old men don't use. You know what I'm saying?
No, like that. That's like, don't imagine you go to your grandfather and you see him. He's on his phone, and you're like, "Yo, pops, what are you doing?" And you see him. He's on the terrace with a fake account, and he's just like scrolling and just talking shit in the comments. 75-year-old man. Like, I don't know what I would do in that point. Like, I might have to call a senior home on him. Be like, yeah, this guy needs to go.
That's too funny though, because I can actually picture it. I can actually picture it. And I'll quick take before we finish up on United though, Terry. What are you not saying?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. But who have you lot got this weekend?
We got Bournemouth on Monday night.
Oh yeah, Monday night again. You lot keep getting these Monday nights, man.
Yeah,
it's because we're not in Europe and we're not in the Carabao Cup, isn't it? So it's just easy to give it to us.
Bro, like I said, like I don't want to watch United games no more. But then they put all the games on Monday at like 3 p.m. And I'm like, realistically, I got nothing better to do. So it's like I gotta watch it now because what else am I gonna do? I missed those early games so I could just say, yeah, I slept. Like I didn't watch the game. Sorry.
It's awkward watching United at the minute. And it goes back to what Staffy said earlier for me. Of course, I'm happy we beat Wolves. And, you know, I'll praise some good things players did. I'll praise the right things the manager did. But it's hard because I'm not getting carried away. I've not been getting carried away with losses or wins all year. But what I haven't been able to shake off is that Everton defeat and that West Ham draw, because irrespective of what I think of Amorim or the squad, I still think we should have won those games. And I look at the league position now, and as much as we are higher in the league than I predicted, the fact we're level on points with Chelsea and score more goals than you is crazy. But I still actually think that we've underachieved, and both those games were on the manager for me. So I look at the Bournemouth game, the Bournemouth match, and then we've got Villa away, which I don't expect to get anything out of because Villa are really good at the minute. Then we've got Newcastle at home, who have been hit and miss this year, and then we've got Wolves again. I'm at a point where I'm reassessing things again at the end of those games in terms of not do I want the manager in or out, because I'm not really involved in those conversations. If he lost his job at any point in these next 4 games, it'd be deserved. He hasn't been good enough. But at the same time, as much as I'll always say I want to stay calm, if my team start winning games and we go higher up in the league, you always get. I can't help myself but get excited. That's just the way I am, and I'm never going to change that. I don't care who it annoys. It is what it is. But I found it hard to get excited after that game because we could lose to Bournemouth 3-0 on Monday. We could beat them 3-0 and anything else in between. And that isn't me sitting on the fence. It's my legitimate view. I don't ever know. We had 3 or 4 home games on the bounce where we actually looked quite good. And I went into that Everton game saying, if we could make this game a win and look good, and the next one was obviously West Ham, then maybe we can start talking about having some consistency. We are so up and down and inconsistent. I never know what to expect. Other than the fact that we'll have too many defensive-minded players on the pitch and we'll make bad substitutions. Those 2 things are like a guarantee. So, look, we could win. We could win. We could go into the top 5. We can't quite make top 4. We're too far behind still. We could go ahead of Chelsea if you slip up. All these things could happen. But I'll still just be in the same space of going, nah. But I don't see what the end goal is. So I feel weird being a Man United fan for me at the minute. I don't feel there's no. There's nothing to look. I feel like there's nothing to look forward to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the inevitable is being delayed. That's why.
Outside of the game itself, which I enjoy, I don't know. I don't feel like I can't see light at the end of the tunnel. So I feel like it's just I could be going around in circles for all I know.
Yeah, literally. That's what it is, bro. Like he keeps buying himself these lives, right? The Wolves win has bought him more time now. So it's like, oh, for God's sake, because you know, Terry, you're going to see the same problems again. Yeah. So I get what you're saying. Ultimately, what it is for you, you know, the inevitable is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Like I don't see Amorim turning it around completely and, you know, playing this free-flowing football and getting all these signings that are going to change your fortunes and that. I just don't really see it, bro. I just don't think the system long-term, it will work. Go on, Staffy.
I think we've seen enough to know that it's not going to work. I'll be very honest with you. I struggle to watch United games for multiple reasons. I struggle to get excited for United games. I struggle to celebrate United goals. I genuinely mean it. Like, I'm not even doing this for no content purpose or whatever. I haven't even posted any personal content on my channel, like solo shows or whatever, for a while. Like, I haven't been doing anything. So this has nothing to do.
Be more aggressive with it, Staffy. Be more aggressive with it.
Well, I'll tell you what, once I saw my internet, I'll become more aggressive, and I'll be on this guy's neck again. So watch out to that. But I generally mean it when I say it. I struggle to even enjoy United games. I didn't celebrate any of the Wolves goals. It's not because I want us to lose. It's because as Don said, it just feels like we're delaying the inevitable. And there's so many things. Shout out Paul Scholes this week. He's absolutely ripped into Amarim, and it's one of those rare times where I'm happy a legend spoke, because they've been speaking bullshit for years, honestly. But this is one of the rare times where I'm happy with some of the things that are being said, especially by Paul Scholes. The way he spoke about the manager, it 100% just describes how I feel and how a lot of other people feel. There was a tweet that I put out the other week that it was like a banner or something at the club that says youth. It's like outside the stadium. It says youth, courage, success. And it has like a bunch of legends on that wall, like David Beckham, George Best, Sir Bobby, everyone. And I retweeted this and I said, we gave up all three. We gave up on the youth. We gave up on success. And the most damning one is that you gave up on courage. I watched this United team and it resembles nothing to what a traditional Man United team looks like. And we can sit here and talk about tactics. We can sit here and talk about player profiling. We can talk about how the way a manager approaches a game. They play 3 in the back, 4 in the back, 2 strikers, 1 striker. They play wingers. They play a 10. They play all that. I don't care about all that. I'm talking about United teams that you knew on the day. What is a United team and what do they do? Attacking football, exciting football, winning football. Even when you didn't win, you thrived to win. You had the courage to try and go and win. All these things. Courage not being there no more is the most damning one, because you could try to win and lose, and that's fine. But the fact that we look at United teams right now and they resemble nothing of the past, not just in success, in the way we approach games, in the way we perform at home, in the way we're hungry and aggressive to perform for our fans at home, to go out there and entertain fans and do this and do that. We are nothing of what we used to be. And I'm not even trying to sit here and be nostalgic. I just think this manager, of all the managers we've had, he's literally, like, I don't even want to say lowered the standards, but he just killed everything. I don't look at a United team that at home they're gonna put a fight every time you come here. We're gonna try no matter what. If we score 1 goal, guess what? We're gonna go and try to score a second. If we score 2, we're gonna try to score a third. You're not gonna come to our ground and school us. All these things, they got snatched. Like, I feel like the heart of the club got snatched. And I don't want to put it all on him, but the way he approaches football just strikes me with that. We score 1 goal, and I'm looking at the clock and I'm saying, what time is Ugarte coming on? And this is not necessarily a diss at Ugarte, it's the way he approaches games. We were up 1-0. What was the game that we drew? West Ham. We were up 1-0. And we're looking at the game and we're like, you know what? We're probably lucky to be up 1-0 because we have a lot of the ball and we're not creating nothing. And he goes on and he brings on more defenders. No one has ever subbed on as many defenders in I don't know how many last years at United as much as this guy. There was a record at the time. I don't know what it is right now, but the time I tweeted it, he had like 49 games where he subbed on center backs for 41 of them. He's made more defensive subs than attacking subs. Certain games where you're looking at a Shea Lacey sitting on the bench, you're looking at a Kobe Mainu sitting on the bench, and you're like, we need a spark. We need something. We used to bring on just academy kids because they understood what it meant to reach that level and play for United. They understood the journey of making it from whatever age they started playing for the club to make it to the first team. They understood what the badge meant. They understood what playing under the Old Trafford floodlights meant on a Monday night or a Tuesday night or whatever it is. And I look at this and I'm like, you're not even giving the fans something to get excited for. We have injuries. Bring on a youth. Just bring him on. We'll see what he could do.
Rashford really made his career because was it Martial got injured, didn't it?
Martial, Rooney, Will Keane. Was it Will Keane or yeah, Will Keane, not Michael Keane. Michael
Keane he just got thrown in. He just got thrown in by Van Gaal.
Got thrown in and we won. This is the club's DNA. This is our identity. This is what we have been. I like to always use this example. You guys know when you go to like a small business, like a restaurant, or like you go onto someone's website and you see that about page. They tell you what they are. There's people that are proud their business is like, it's like a restaurant as an example. They're like, you know what? We're proud to be like, we're like an organic restaurant, plant-based. We make sure we use the best ingredients and this and that. So everyone has their own identity. We're like, this is what our business is built upon. You go on the about page and it tells you who we are. What are we about? This is everyone might not do it the same, but this is what makes us special. You either are on board with us because you like it, or you're not on board with us, and that's fine. You can be invested in another business. This is what United has always been. And I look at this United, and they're a show of what they used to be. We used to lose, but we used to look at this team, but like, you know what, bro? We brought up Maresca, we brought up Greenwood, we brought up these players. We used to take pride in the players that come out of our academy. We used to take pride in being Terry. Remember the stat I sent you? I sent Terry a stat not too long ago. It was shows the last 5 managers and how many game days that they start a youth player in the starting 11. This season so far, Ruben Amorim has had 0. We've never had a manager that had 0. And we're not some little academy that no one respects. We have been a very well-known academy for years. We've been respected for years for who we are. The Premier League, people used to make fun of this, but the Premier League used to be infested with the academy graduates. The 6th, and this is the most damning stat, Terry. Sorry, I'm rambling, but I haven't been live for a moment to talk about United, so I'm letting it all out. The damning stat, bro. There's only 6 players, academy graduates from United, that started a game this season in Old Trafford, and all of them have been the opposing team. You're talking about Henderson. You're talking about Keane. You're talking about who else?
Welbeck.
Welbeck and them. None of them actually play for us. The 6 starters are from teams that don't even that are not us, and it's sad.
The one positive out of what you're saying that I like is, I'm not putting this on you. For me, I mean, Patrick here says, wasn't Staffy saying that the top Reds need to forget about recreating the class of 92 6 to 12 months ago? I don't know if Staffy was saying that, but I
did
think
say that. But I can clarify that. I'm glad. I knew someone would bring that up.
Yeah, because I was going to say something. The one thing for me is with Amorim that I think has been a positive. I feel like it's brought people back to understand. So for me, for instance, why I wasn't a massive fan of Louis van Gaal, I wasn't a massive fan of Jose, because I prefer my team to risk losing to win at the right times. I don't mean don't go away to a brilliant Real Madrid team and be opened and get beat 4-0. That's fucking stupid. But there's a time to attack and there's a time to be pragmatic. But I think I agree with you that Amorim has shown it isn't about just bad decision making. It's a lack of courage. West Ham equalised on the 83rd minute. There was 7 minutes, 5 minutes of time added on, and he brings on Lissandro Martinez instead of throwing on Mainu and Shea Lacey, the only 2 attackers. Go for at that point. I agree with him to a certain. Again, I wouldn't have brought on Ugarte. I'd have brought on Mainu earlier. I'm not telling Amorim to go for broke with 25 minutes to go and get caught on the counter 3 times. But there are times where you go, right, there's 15 minutes. And the maddest bit is he's done it on occasions. What he did against Lyon when it fell apart, and he went, right, Maguire up front, Mainu on, go all out attack. That's what Man United are. Now, I'm not suggesting, and I agree with you, Staffy, that some people go, well, you think that's your DNA. My club does that as well. That's fine. It doesn't matter that other clubs do it or don't do it. Man United do that when we're a goal down and we're up against it. We don't go, we'll just play conservatively and try not to get beat worse or take this point. So I agree with you completely. But to address this super chat, I'll go back to you, Staffy. Sorry.
No. But by the way, you're absolutely right. You didn't even mention the Everton game where they got us sending off in the first 10 minutes of the game, and we played with 3 center backs against 10 men for the majority of the game. I know who this manager is, and that's why I've always been calling him an idealist. He likes to have an ideal plan, and he doesn't go off it. He'd rather have Maguire on the bench, bring him on, and still keep him as a center back because he knows he can lump the ball forward eventually and score a header, than to actually bring on an out attacker and switch to back 4. But back to this super chat, I'm just gonna assume the best, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he wants an honest opinion rather than trying to call me out. There's a difference between me saying,
Patrick, by the way, very respectful. Patrick's very respectful. He's a really nice guy. Yeah, he is.
Which is why I said I'm gonna give him the benefit of that, because I didn't know. There's a difference between saying we are known to graduating youth from our academy all the time, whether they make it in the team long term or not. And there's a difference between the top Reds at that time when they were upset about us selling players. Now, this conversation, when it was brought up, it was more related to Garnacho, because remember at that time, Garnacho was being linked with a move to Napoli, and a lot of people said we can't sell academy players. I never said don't sell academy players. I said play academy players, use them when you need them. When you're down bad, we have always been a club that whenever we were down bad, we were known that we were always going to trust our academy. When we had no more options left, we can always trust Carrington. I always say this. Shout out to my boy Griggs. We always say this. We say Carrington got me when no one else got me. Carrington for years has been somewhere where we can rely on. We've seen it all the way from 1992 to the likes of eventually Rashford and everyone that you want to associate since. So when I'm sitting here and saying, well, it can't get worse than this. I'm not winning a game. I'm desperate for a goal. I'm not playing the best football. We're not performing at our best. And I have options on the bench that can give me a spark. Forget about Menu, because we can go back and forth about Menu for a while and how he doesn't like his profile as a midfielder. But when Shea Lacey's sitting on your bench, and by the way, we've seen it last season with Chido Obi as an example, that we had a game where we had no attackers and he still refused to bring them on. These are the moments that made our club what it is. Yeah. And this is why I'm saying this manager does not get it. I'm not saying it's ideal. I'm not saying Shea Lacey is going to come on, score a brace, and we're like, oh my God, we struck the next Neymar. I'm not doing that. But the fact that he doesn't have the courage to approach it the same way, and it's not who we are. One more thing, Terry. Sorry. Shout out to even Ten Hag for everything that I hated Ten Hag for. Ten Hag even understood it. Ten Hag understood the importance of academy players in this team. And he always tried his best to actually bring them on. I disagreed with him with a lot of technical things, but even him, with how stiff he was and how like so many things, like I talked about his communication, all that wasn't there, he actually understood what the club was about. What did I say?
Do you know what's interesting? This is what I'd love to say to Amarim, like privately, nothing public, is listen, Ruben, you do realize that if we're struggling and you lose, people on your side. It's why I love how the club handled the Lemaines thing. I always have this joke with Ben Jacobs. Well, no, they didn't bring him in as the main number one. I always believe they did, but I believe they did it under the guise that he's the number two, so the pressure wasn't as much. Because football fans, we can be a little strange like this. If we're struggling and you start Shea Lacey, if we're struggling at the back and you give, like when he gave Heaven his chance, nobody was like, fucking Heaven better deliver today. It's, go on, young man, do your best. And if it goes wrong with our academy players, for a period of time, you get grace, you get support. And in fact, it actually relieves pressure. He's creating more. The game against Wolves on Monday, you 3-1 up, right? Get Mainu on earlier, give Shea Lacey his debut. I get Lissandro Martinez coming on. He's trying to build up his fitness. But give Lacey a chance and give Mainu more minutes. And it buys you grace with fans.
What if, Terry, but going back to what you were saying earlier, what if it's just not that good? What if he's not good enough to be coming on?
This is the thing. So what we're not, the difference between your challenge there and against me and your argument is none of us
I like Shea Lacey, by the way. I like what I've seen from him.
Yeah. Well, but I'll answer your question if we're going to do it for real. None of us are sitting here and saying Shea Lacey is the answer to our problems and he's good enough to be a United player forever. We've got an issue where we don't have any depth at all. Give the young man a chance so we can see whether he's good enough. This isn't us saying, oh my God, he's so much better than Mbeumo, he's so much better than Mount. It's we have no other options because of injuries and a thin squad, but yet the one attacking option on the bench is the kid. You're not giving it a chance and you're bringing on a centre-back in a defence. I wouldn't have even minded if Lacey stayed on the bench and we threw a lump on up front and went long ball. At least you're trying to win the game. It's the fact that you're taking off a centre-back for a centre-back and making no attacking options. Your manager, he might not pick the attacker you like, but he's bringing on an attacker. Does that make it might have
right now, not so much.
Well, he didn't bring, you know what I mean? You might not rate Guiu, but Guiu comes on. Imagine only having Guiu as the only attacking option on your bench and 3 games running, he takes a centre-back off for a centre-back and that's it. There's a different scenario in there, but I hear you.
Yeah, exactly, but it's a perfect time for him to be actually bringing through a lot of these guys from Carrington, bro, because it's not like your team's doing wonders right now. No. It's not like when Foden walked into Man City and you've got world-class players in every position. Like, come on, man. This team
that's what makes it worse, Don. That's what makes it worse. If we're a successful team and some youth have to be sacrificed because they're not good enough to get into a winning team, I have no problem with it. And that's back to the super chat. I will never be someone who says you cannot sell an academy player. That's not what I said. Me talking about academy players being sold and academy players being integrated are two different conversations. Academy players could be sold all the time. And I'll actually support them if they go to another team because I actually take pride in Carrington all the time. But like Terry said, we're bringing on center backs instead of trying to win a game. even if what all you have left is a youth. How many times over the years, Terry, we'd be watching a game, United are down 1-0, Old Trafford, at home, 20 minutes left, and you see a couple of attacking subs warming up and they're on the sideline about to come on. And before they even step a foot, you hear the roar in the crowd. And they're getting excited. That lifts the team. The team goes on and snatches a win.
And
this is what the club is about.
And it's why a manager like De Zerbi, even if he fouled, wouldn't get the same stick that a Ten Hag or a Ruben's getting, because it would just be attacking football. He'd give youth an opportunity. And this is, we've got to get back to that. This year says, Joshua Jack says, did you guys see the Sunderland video with the coldest jab at Isak? Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, I saw it. It wasn't that funny, man.
Just want you to have a look at this scar on my chest.
Ooh, what is it?
It is a scar from a heart transplant. I had an operation. So about 5 years ago, my heart stopped working, like Alexander Isak this summer.
C'est pas possible.
Wow. That's the actual Sunderland players on their channel.
It wasn't that funny. It was funny, but come on, it wasn't that funny, man.
I think it's funny. Do you know what? I think it's funny for the players, because normally when they do things, it's all vetted and things like that are not allowed. Like I did something for MUTV years ago, and I'm like, "Oh, do you want to?" We did like a Skype thing and got to ask the players a question. And I think I don't even know. I asked Danny Welbeck, who does he hate the most, Liverpool or City, right? And they were like, you can ask a question, but you've got to say which one does you see as the biggest rival. You couldn't even use the word hate on there. So it's normally so watered down. I think that's why they laugh. Because
they just expect him to ask it. They just expect him to
Patrick here says, I will say one thing in defense of Amorim with respect to this. We've seen young players be called for by fans, Obi, Amas, Collier, and even Yoro when they don't hit the ground running. Fans instantly ridicule managers. Players. This is also true, and this is where fans have also got to chill themselves out as well. Patrick, thank you for those donations, my friend. You're an absolute legend, and brilliant words from you. An alien here says, if it wasn't until Arteta took a chance on Martinelli, Saka, and ESR, that Arsenal started to improve when we were in the trenches.
It's spot on that as well, Terry. Because I'm telling you, bro, if we didn't have the transfer ban, I always say this, I don't know where Mount and Reece would be, bro. Honestly,
that's true. Also, one thing stats with Man United, Staffy, just very quickly before we end. Have you seen the stat this season? Our win percentage when Mount starts for us versus when he doesn't.
You know, actually, it's a very honest conversation.
And those games where he starts, I'll be honest with you, have probably been the performances where we go, ain't been too bad today.
Mason Mount has 100% been better than Cunha this season. And anyone who wants to argue that, they're probably just too hurt that the Cunha signing hasn't worked. Mason Mount, and I'll tell you why, real quick, because I know you want to wrap up. I think he's the only one that plays on those 10 positions who's actually midfield-minded, that he knows how to actually step in and help with that shitty midfield too. So, in fact, our best times of playing this season, and the winning percentage you said, is when we actually have one more natural midfielder in that team. Obviously, it helps that he used to play that system when he played at Chelsea under what's his name, Thomas Tuchel. So you can tell that he's very familiar with what he's doing. And I'll give him his flowers for someone who I ridiculed for a while, and he deserved it as well because it's been a flop of a signing. He's probably been one of our best players this season.
Crazy, 71% win ratio when he starts. When he doesn't start, we've only won 25% of the games.
Mason Mount being one of your key players is dark.
But the thing is,
it's still not good long term. I'll be honest with you.
It isn't. But what I would say, Wolves is a hard one to judge it against because Wolves aren't very good. But that Palace performance, the Liverpool performance, he has played well in those games, and what he's done in those matches. It's been like the Mount that first broke through at Chelsea, where he's, again, not world-class, but very good, picking up space in the pockets, some important goals, really integral in the press. He's doing that. And that's the one thing that, listen, half the issue with Mount since he's been at United has been he's missed 64% of the games with injury. That's the biggest problem, but there we go. Listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into the show today. Don and Staffy, always a pleasure to speak football with you. We're back tomorrow, of course, for all the match reactions starting from the 3 p.m. games with Chelsea versus Everton. I'm live tonight, 8 p.m. on the United stand. So if you want to come across there, we'll be previewing the weekend and looking back at some of the big United news. I'm going to touch on the Mason Mount stuff a bit on there as well, I think, as it's the biggest United platform in the world. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. This is going to redirect you to Judge Mo's channel, so go and support my brother over there, and we'll see you again soon. Peace.